because like I said before,
Nick pressed that.
No, it's fine.
Rude.
I grew up like as a teenager, I was very meek. I was very quiet. I wouldn't stand up for myself. I wasn't outspoken. And then when you go into that environment where it's based off of value judgment, like what we spoke about earlier, I didn't realize like who I was or like what I had to offer. And that was in OnlyFans. That was in the strip club.
Got it.
And I'm not sure why it had to take that, but it's because in like high school, I was bullied. I'm not gonna lie, I was fucking bullied in high school. So people were like nice to me. They were like, oh shit, you're like awesome in the strip club. Maybe that's just because they were giving me money, but it gave me the fucking confidence that I have now.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
She did because she asked.
I would say, Nicolette, you have a lot more to offer than just your body to the world.
You're right, I do, but that's just all I show. And there's a lot more to me that I don't share on the internet because I do value myself so highly. I don't talk about my personal life on the internet.
But you do talk about a very personal part of yourself that is initially designed just for one specific person, and you've showed millions of people, and I think that you're worth more than objectifying yourself for men's pleasure.
I could say the same thing for you. You're not a virgin, so.
Yeah, I've been with one man, and I regret it. I'm not proud of it.
I would have been an OnlyFans girl if I wouldn't have had God in my life. So if that makes you feel better, like I got fat because God was like, this bitch is gonna be a stripper. So then I was like, so I got chubby, and then I'm sure there's a niche for that. But
no, but you can all judge and say, oh, I'm showing my fucking body for when it's meant for one person. But we're all here at this table, not virgins. So what makes me any different than you guys? Nothing.
Nick's a virgin.
I'm a virgin.
I can change that, Nick.
Oh man.
Is he really?
He is.
You would really, yeah?
He's hot. Look at him.
I do agree, like, porn does ruin young men. It literally, if you look at brain scans, like, it, like, muddles their brain. But then the thing is it the porn star's fault or is it their fault for viewing it?
This is the whole thing, supply and demand, baby.
Supply.
It's hard for me to say. Like, it's obviously, I think the men's fault for viewing it, but then, you know, you create a market, so it keeps going and going. So I don't know.
Did you? Well, you're right. I just smoked my vape with you outside. So is it the tobacco or nicotine company's fault, or is it yours for keeping them in business?
Mine, yes, it's the consumers.
Then
So,
you're a
know,
hypocrite.
No, I'm saying like you can't say it's your. I was
because
saying,
everyone is.
No, I was saying you can't say it's your fault
Everybody.
because the men are consuming it.
Exactly. So it's not my fault.
You know?
Whoever had a glass of champagne, then you are also causing to the problem of the alcohol companies out there. So what's the big deal?
Wow, that's deep, Nicolette. That was beautiful. Go ahead. You have a thing.
I do OnlyFans as well, obviously. I think we should not make OnlyFans normal because it's not really normal. And I think a lot of OnlyFans girls got into the industry because we were insecure. Let's be honest, we had some sexual trauma. We were insecure, most of all. Sexual traumas, insecure, call it what you want to call it. So they got into the industry basically feeding that trauma and then call it, I'm getting secure. It's basically not healing, right? It's basically like adding that trauma. So is it really that good for us then?
You're right. We shouldn't normalize it because then it makes us less special. And that gives us like less money in turn.
Without the money and everything, would you still do it?
Well,
if it's like your dream job, right? You love to do this, everything. Would you still do it if it would not pay like 10, 20,000?
I'm not gonna lie. I was
on this.
uploading on Pornhub without making any money. So yes, maybe for 6 years.
Yeah. Well, wait. This is kind of dishonest, though. I will agree. I'm sure that you did upload to Pornhub without making money. But that doesn't mean that you did it because you didn't think that the potential was there, that it was going to make you money or lead to you making money. So let's caveat this correctly. Did you upload to this site without any expectation that it would lead to any money ever?
Yes, because the Model Hub program, which is a program on Pornhub, which allows you to monetize off of it, is new. I did that 7 years ago before I even was a cam girl, before I even made any money.
So you did it to assist your career to make money, though, right?
No, I did it because I'm a fucking whore. Like, what's the problem?
So just to make sure we have this clear, if you were never paid again, you would do pornography absolutely free of charge.
I've never done pornography in my life.
Okay, OnlyFans is pornography.
Yeah, Pornhub is porn.
Okay, so
What were you doing on Pornhub? Eating chocolates?
I call bullshit.
no, I was
I call
doing like
bullshit.
solo
I call
stuff. So there's like tiers
bullshit of the
to.
highest
Naked,
order.
correct?
I call bullshit.
And you were doing something sexually
I
provocative while you
call
were naked?
And also, when I
bullshit.
was before I was even in OnlyFans or online or like sex worker at all, I was fucking running through the football team. Like that's just in my blood. Like I don't know what's so hard to
So
believe.
I just want to make sure that we're clear.
Yes,
If
we're clear.
no other person ever paid you again, you would continue to do this kind of work free of charge,
For
right?
7 years, like I've been doing now, probably not that long, but for as long as it made me happy. And if not, I'd still be like fucking people like left and right. Like some people are just whores.
I just want to be sure because you're still not really answering the question, so I'm just going to be very specific.
I
with the
just did.
question.
I did. I said if
You didn't, what you did was you gave a bunch of caveats. I'm just going to ask a simple yes or no. If nobody paid you ever again to do corn, would you still do it or not?
It's not a yes or no answer. I said, would I have been doing it?
Yes or no? How is it not a yes or no answer?
Well, if you were to have
Would you or
asked me,
wouldn't you?
if you were to have asked me at 18, I would have said yes.
I'm
Now,
asking you right now.
Crickets.
No.
Yeah, no, that's what I thought.
But like, what do you consider porn? Like, if I'm dating someone or if I'm hooking up with someone and I want them
If
to
you are
record it on their phone?
naked, playing with yourself, that's porn. If you put yourself naked out on Instagram, OnlyFans, what I do as well, that's porn. Everything you do sexually or
Exactly.
it's
so
porn.
So would I do it without making money and without posting it? Yeah, I'd probably still be doing porn in like my own personal life.
So the answer is yes.
Yes, then.
All right.
No, I don't think the answer is yes. I think you just gave an out where there didn't need to be an out. Would you film pornography and distribute it or give it to somebody to distribute for free, no payment to you, because you think it's fucking funsies or not?
Oh, no, not now.
No, you wouldn't. And so you wouldn't do OnlyFans work either without payment, correct?
No, but I did do in the past.
Yeah, so just saying that you would be a slut is far different than saying that you would distribute pornography or participate in porn, right?
What about
Why-
the football team?
Well, I ran through a few.
A few football teams.
Altogether.
A few football players.
Oh, a few
same
football
team,
players.
same team.
Same team.
They loved me.
Did you film that as
One-
well, or
No.
Like at the same night?
No.
Oh,
No.
huh.
I
Interesting.
wish. It's not too late.
Whoa. Okay.
and you didn't get bullied for that or something?
No, I did.
Wow. Okay. That's an interesting story.
You know what's
Nicola. I think
crazy?
we
You want to know something? I literally did not sleep with anyone in high school because of how insecure I was. I'm like, they're going to immediately leave me, but if I stay a virgin, someone will have to marry me. But literally, like, it was a complete opposite. I did not want to, like, obviously I knew God and stuff, and it played a part, but I was so insecure that I was like, I better not ever sleep with anyone. They're going to look at all of this and be like, what? So it, like, kept me away from. So it's crazy because yours was.
No, they loved me.
I want to know what you're drinking in the morning for yourself.
Glocktavius donated $200. Would wife the half Asian girls /10. I would drag my balls through 1,000 miles of broken glass shards just to hear then fart through a walkie-talkie. Are you single?
What?
He's
Wait,
talking to
which one?
her.
there's
Half Asian.
Isn't there 3?
would wife the half Asian girls.
Oh, girls.
Oh, girls.
Oh, girls. So any of
Are
them.
you single?
Not for him.
Not for Glocktavius? And
I'm not single.
sorry, Glocktavius. Okay. Right. Let's see. We'll get into some more pre-show notes. Why don't we quickly go to Carly? So Carly, you said I'll get through as much as I can here. I'll jump around a bit. You said, one sec. Which one do I want? There's a lot. You gave us a lot of notes here. Soy boy beta males who push for abortion because they're not ready. Amen. Do you want to elaborate?
Yeah, so part of my job, I stand outside of abortion centers as women are going into the clinics, and I kindly and lovingly ask them to reconsider and give them options and help so they can, and I'll stay with them throughout the rest of the way. And the number one reason that I see women wanting to have one is because their boyfriend, who isn't he's not necessarily like abusive, he just says, I don't care, like, it's your body, it's your decision, when he's the one that impregnated her. And so in my mind, he needs to step up and step into that role of provider and protector. But when he doesn't, then the church people should come around these women and these families, these babies. And so that's something that really ticks me off, is that these soy boy beta males.
So the church will pay for the children's education, food, everything.
Yeah, we have adoption programs. We actually have had a few pastors adopt babies.
So they adopt a baby, but they cannot get rid of the baby, so she will never take care of the baby either way.
She can have an open adoption. We do have that as well, where she steps in and is part of the baby's life. She's
But-
just not responsible for the baby.
By any chance, do you know who Harriet Tubman is? Okay, so she freed a bunch of slaves, but in what you're saying is hypocritical because she freed a bunch of slaves but didn't help them get jobs. So what she's doing is she's saving babies, and she's not helping them in this case like get jobs, as in you're saying like other things, like even if
But
she
we
didn't
would though.
provi-
But
yeah,
like that's
but
the
they
thing
still
is that
do.
we still do.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like it's a little hypocritical because, or unless you know what.
Why is everybody a hypocrite here either way? But-
Sorry. Yeah, no. What I'm just trying to give you an example.
Yeah.
But is it also not a little bit, if a woman is so going to an abortion clinic, she's very vulnerable, it's a huge
Yeah,
thing. And
it
then
is
you
very
get to her
vulnerable.
as well. It's like another thing. It's good that you make her think for herself. If the boyfriend is not there, that's a good thing. I'm quite pro-life. But it's not really your decision in the end to give another person
like,
the
you can control
idea.
anyone,
And what
yeah.
about the man? Yeah, he did put it in, but then he has still have a say, right?
He should have a say, but he
yeah, and if
doesn't.
he doesn't want it, where is his say?
Well,
It's
if she
still a
doesn't-
man's dick, still it's sperm. Without the man, there is no child. So he has still like a 50-50% saying. in my opinion.
But he shouldn't have a say whether or not the baby lives or dies.
Why you
whether or
just
not they're
confirmed
killed.
he has a say in, so why
He
doesn't
should
he have a say right now?
and being able to say that this child should live, but nobody should have a say in whether or not if that baby gets killed. No one, that shouldn't be allowed. We shouldn't have a place where we can go kill children up to 20 weeks of pregnancy right down the street. And that's what abortion is. And not only that, but these abortion centers are capitalizing on women in their most vulnerable moment when they are hurting the most. And they're capitalizing on their vulnerability, taking their money, and oftentimes sending them back into the same abusive situation that they just came
But you're
from.
talking about abuse. I understand if a young girl is being raped or anything bad, and then you let the child go away. It's a little bit different situation.
Really, this guy is something
But
else.
for you, the child is alive at that age, probably, right?
It's a human life at the beginning of conception.
So, is the guy supposed to pay like child support and everything already when it's like
in the womb?
Yeah,
I
because
think
it's
so.
alive.
I think yes.
But if he's not pro-life, then he should, and the woman is not pro-life, then he should be able to like opt out of not even paying for child support. Because it's so unfair for men. Because
That's awesome.
okay, it's super unfair for men because men literally do not have a choice, and it's
Yes.
they don't have a choice. Like the woman gets to choose if the baby dies or the baby lives, and the man literally has no choice. He has to pay for child support.
Yeah, that's
But-
my point. So if he
They-
wants no child, why
Right,
can
exactly.
he not have a
He-
say in that when he,
He
doesn't
did.
want
He
to?
had the say when he stuck his dick in her and came in her.
But that's the pro-life argument.
Okay, well, what I will say is, first of all, those abortion clinics, they're mandatory reporters. So if they are being abused, they are mandatory. They're
but
obligated.
they're not mandatory askers. They don't have to ask, are you
They
being
do.
abused?
They do. Because I go to those clinics. They say, is anyone
You been?
keeping you? Yes, I go there all the time.
To get abortions?
No, they give you
From the football
exactly
team?
abortion clinics. That's what they call them. It's not abortion clinics. They provide free birth control. They provide advice, free STD testing, and I come across the people who stand outside of those clinics all the time. Personally, I haven't mentioned it on this podcast. I'm a Christian, so
Oh, no.
yes,
No.
I am. So
Oh,
they
no.
saw me. I pull up. I'm like, oh fuck these fuckers again, and so.
Will you speak to those
Bruh.
women outside?
I do. So they saw me when I'm on my way in, and first of all, I'm always late, as you guys know. So I'm late to my appointment.
You're
and
late to your appointment.
all the time. I was late here, so I'm always
Yeah,
late
you were
fashionably,
She
of course.
was late. She was 40 minutes late today.
But we still logged on early. Am I right or am I right?
Not because of you, but yeah, we did.
Anyways, so when they saw me, oh, can I please share this on my way out? I have an appointment on my way out. And I do make sure I let them talk to me. Give me your pamphlet. Can I pray for you? Yes, you can pray for me. I give them my experience. They're not knowledgeable. They don't know that stuff. They don't know. They think, they don't give you ultrasounds before abortions. First of all, they do.
I know they
In
do.
fact, it's mandatory.
I know they do that to check to make sure the baby's in there, but they don't often check how far along it is. Actually, oftentimes we've had a mom come and tell me I'm 3 weeks pregnant. You can't know that you're pregnant at 3 weeks, really, unless you're really, really, really tracking your cycle. And then we'll take them to one of our pregnancy resource centers, and they'll say, actually, you're 8 or 9 weeks pregnant. It's a lot farther along. I've had friends that come out of the abortion centers or former workers there tell me they're not training people properly. They're not following these requirements because the abortion industry follows at really low standards compared to others. And there have been multiple sting operations. You guys had Lila Rose on this podcast, who has exposed through live action how Planned Parenthood allows sex trafficking and pimps to go in there and take advantage of these women because they don't report it. They've done those kinds of things before. What you're saying just isn't true, and a lot of people aren't informed.
In my experience, it's true.
Well, I need to shift gears a little bit here, but a couple things. Nicolette, you said that when it comes to the male side of things, you said, well, he should have thought of that before sticking his D in her and coming.
Yes, that's
But-
his choice right there.
What if he's
But
framed?
so, Nicolette, so if I kind of turn the argument around and say, well, women who are desirous of getting abortions, they should have thought of that before having sex.
Well, first of all, an abortion
No,
is
but
not a
you-
form of birth control, and girls who do that, I'm against that.
Right, but you realize, when it comes to the male perspective of this, you're basically a Bronze Age pro-lifer. You should have thought. You shouldn't have opened your legs. You should have.
Exactly, it works both ways.
No, but aren't you pro-choice?
I am.
So it doesn't work both ways.
It does,
No,
because-
for the man, it's you should have. Tough luck. You just got to pay 18 years of child support.
Well, an abortion
Tough
isn't
luck.
easy. An abortion isn't. You have to call off work for that. You're gonna fucking bleed. Chunks.
And paying child support for 18 years is not hard.
Yeah, but your position is just kind of a bit contradictory because for men it's tough luck, should have kept your legs closed, but you would never make that same argument towards women who want to get an abortion.
Well, if they're
You'd be
crying,
like,
oh, woe is me, I don't want to get an abortion, blah blah blah. You can't. I don't
what?
feel bad.
For men?
For either sides, you both have the decision to lay down in bed and do that. So you're
Right,
either
but
gonna
women can
abort
get
it or you're
abortions.
gonna have it.
Yeah, but women can get abortions.
Yeah, but it's not easy.
But they can.
Because it's very.
We're in California.
You can go to CVS.
No, easy as in
Like mentally and emotionally.
Yes,
and-
thank you.
I
Or
mean,
physically.
But framing a man for 18 years is
Maybe.
not mentally and
Wait, hold
emotionally
on. Wait,
healthy.
I'll even engage with that. I'll even grant to you that it's not easy for the woman to get the abortion. I'm just going to go ahead and say that it's way harder for the man when he has to labor for 18 years to support the child. That's way more damaging to him, I would say.
I would also argue that it's hard for a man when he knows that his girlfriend or someone killed a child. That is hard for a man to go through. I've seen men experience loss. I've talked to men as they're crying and throwing up in the bushes saying, I did everything I could to stop her to have this abortion. And he wanted that baby more than anything to be a dad. And yet he has no say, no decision in the matter.
Then she should have chose his partner better.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
that's hard. That's hard to say.
So Nicolette,
This woman is
I think Andrew
horrible.
wanted to
Oh my
jump in on this.
Shit.
You're a
This
Christian?
woman is holy crap.
Christian? Which
God.
denomination?
I don't believe in
Baptist?
that. I don't believe in
Bless me
that.
with the ability to
I'm a
let
Christian.
me-
I believe in God. I believe that he died on the cross for our sins. That's it.
Do you know
And is there any obligations for you as a Christian?
what you said is the same thing that the devil says because the devil also believes in God.
He was an angel, right? The devil as well.
Wait, question for you then. What's do you think God wants you to do porn and OnlyFans and stripping?
No, I also think God doesn't want us to drink champagne.
Why not?
I don't think
I'm
he
sorry,
wants
Dad, I'm
Andrew to
sorry.
smoke cigarettes.
What
The
was the
first-
first miracle
the
that
first
Jesus
miracle.
performed?
The first miracle.
Didn't he cure a blind man or
No,
something?
the
No.
first
What
miracle
was the first
that
miracle?
the first miracle was in a wedding, and they ran out of wine. And Mary went to Jesus, and she's like, "Hey, we ran out of wine." And he's like, "Well, what do you want me to do about it?" And she's like, "Well, make more wine." And he's like, "Fine." So the first miracle was that he made he made more wine for a wedding.
So obviously, there's no such thing as perfect Christian, perfect Catholic. It's not a sin to drink, but it's a sin to
Yeah,
be
but
drunk.
that's a great pivot.
not
Can we
a
get
sin to
back
be
real
drunk.
quick before
Yes,
you
it
pivot
is.
off into
It's a
this?
sin
to do the actions
Before you
of a
pivot off
drunk.
into some other fucking nonsense.
No, you're
Can
wrong.
you just kind of answer to this idea that a real Christian doesn't drink champagne when the first miracle of Jesus Christ was to turn water into wine for a party?
So I didn't know that, to be honest. But I do
Oh.
know that it's a sin to be drunk. It's a fucking blurred line. And obviously, we're not all
No,
perfect
it's
Christians.
not.
She's not a virgin. She has a Bible on her lap. But you're still a Christian. And I would never take that away from you. I'm not going to say, oh, you're not the right Christian.
hey, I'm
Yeah,
not
I know,
sitting here
but you
judging whether or
should,
not
right?
you're
Things
saved.
I
have
was using you as
criteria
an
for what they
example.
are.
I know, but I'm just saying, like,
Yeah, but things have criteria for what they are. So when you make the kind of claim, if you say I am X, then you have to fit X criteria. So
Well, you don't
from
have
your-
to.
Hang on. From your standpoint, then, what the hell is a Christian? Do you have any obligations or duties as a Christian, any whatsoever?
To serve him, spread his word, which I'm doing right now, and to believe that he died on the cross for your sins. There's also certain denominations where you're not allowed to wear makeup. You can't have tattoos, XYZ.
But there's also
Yeah,
levels.
yeah, but those are all duties then, right? So those are still appealing to a duty. They're saying Christians have a duty to not do this thing because it's sinful or whatever it is that those denominations believe. What are your duties as a Christian?
For the second time, I'll re-answer that. To believe that he died on the cross for your sins and to spread his word.
So if you were to believe that Jesus Christ died on the cross for your sins and you spread his word, but at night you also participated in the rape of women and at the same time butchered them when you were done doing that to them, are you a good Christian because you believe that he died on the cross for you and you spread his word?
I believe I'm a good Christian, and that's not for you to judge.
That's not what I asked you.
I said I do believe I'm a good Christian, so
Yeah,
I did
that's not what I
answer.
asked you. What did I ask you?
You said, do I think that makes me a good Christian?
No, that's not what I asked you. What I asked you is if a person at night went out and was a serial killer, and then during the day they believe that Jesus died on the cross and spread his word, right? Are they following Christian ethics?
So there's commandments, and we all break
Duties,
them.
yeah,
We all
duties.
break them. Everyone at this table who claims to be a Christian has broken those commandments.
Yes.
Yeah, but what
So-
they don't do is break the commandments and then go, oh, okay, well, that's okay. Since I broke one, I guess I'll just keep breaking them because fuck it.
And that doesn't make me any less of a Christian than the next person.
Yes, it fucking does make you. You're not a Christian at all. You don't know anything about the Bible. You don't know anything about your faith. You don't know shit about anything.
And
so
that's your
explain to me
opinion.
what makes you a Christian? You're a prostitute. How can you, in the good sense, say that I engage every single day in prostitution, all right, and collect monies for said prostitution, make excuses for prostitution, make excuses for killing babies in the womb, but I'm also a Christian? How can you reconcile those?
First of all, why are you calling me a prostitute?
Because you're engaged in prostitution.
What do you consider prostitution, and how am I doing it every
so
day?
I would consider prostitution provocative sexualization for the purpose of money.
Okay, I had a different definition of prostitution.
Well, that's nice. You have a different definition. Tell me why mine's wrong.
Well, prostitution is when you have sex for money.
No. Why? Well, okay, so let me get this right. So a woman goes up to your room, okay, and then masturbates for you while you jerk off, and then you pay her $500. She's not a prostitute. Just want to make sure we're clear.
Jesus, God, he loved prostitutes.
Yeah, can you answer my question?
Yeah, sure, it's a fucking prostitute, whatever makes
What
you happy.
makes it a prostitute? She didn't engage in
But
sex for
I am
money.
not here to make you happy.
Yeah,
I'm
you need
here
to answer the question. What makes her a prostitute if she didn't engage in sex for money?
to my definition or yours, because I still have my definition.
Your definition. You said they have to engage in sex for money, and then I just gave you an example where they're not engaging in sex and still getting money. You still said it's a prostitute. Can you explain that to me?
I don't think that's a prostitute.
Oh, but you just said it was.
Because I'm saying shit to make you happy because you're not going to fucking take
So
my
you have
answer.
no coherent worldview at all? You're just making shit up as you go? Anything to make you happy, Andrew? I have no thoughts of my own?
Because I tell you my thoughts thoughts, and then you're like, no, you're wrong. It's like,
Yeah, well, if they're wrong, why shouldn't I point out that they're wrong? If they don't make any sense, if they're
Because-
incoherent, they're nonsense babble, why shouldn't I tell you that?
Even if
Should
I was a
What should
prostitute-
I do? Should I just be like, oh, okay, sweetheart, anything you say, as stupid as it is, I'll just agree with it. Should I just do that? Would that make you happy?
Even if I was a prostitute and fucking accepting $20 on Figueroa for the next trick that pulls up, I am still a Christian, and I'm still going to heaven.
And what makes you one?
Believing that Jesus died on the cross for your sins, and I'm saved, and that will not
And
change just
following
because
none
he
of
says
his
it does.
commandments nor trying to. What
Nicolette,
commandments of Jesus
can I
Christ do you
ask
actually follow?
Have you ever repented, or what do you think of that?
I repent every single day.
So you repent and then continuously
fuck
return
off.
to that sin.
Just as do you. As do you.
I try my best not to sin every day. and
But
I
you
think
still
that there are
repent for
times-
your sins
But
every
I don't
day.
continue in that same action that I know is sinful, and I try my hardest each day to live righteously and to not engage in things that I know. Like, you make an active, conscious decision to engage in sin, and so when you repent from that, you are making active, conscious decisions to deny yourself, pick up your cross, and follow Jesus each and every single day. That's what you do, to serve God, to choose God over sin. That's what.
I also want to say what you're saying is the same thing the devil can say. So just because someone believes in God and that he died on the cross does not make someone a Christian. And I'm not saying that I'm a good Christian, because a good Christian, you're making decisions consistently to be a Christian. Every day you have to make that decision. But your argument is not that you are a Christian because you believe that Jesus died on the cross, because that's also what the devil believes. So does that make the devil also a Christian?
Does that make the devil a Christian? Is that your end question?
Nicolette, if
Let me,
your
let me
boyfriend
rephrase-
cheated
let me
on
rephrase
you
the question,
over
'cause
and
I
over
understand
and
what
over
she's
again,
getting
but
at.
kept saying I'm sorry, but kept cheating on you over and over again, would you really believe that he loved you?
Well, in my opinion, men who cheat can still love their partners.
But would you believe that he loved you if he cheated on you?
As I
every
just
single
said,
day?
men who cheat can still love their partners.
Here, let's just make it super simple and basic, right? Super simple, basic question. Would you say that it's God or the devil who prefers you do OnlyFans? Which one?
I don't think, probably the fucking devil, to be honest.
Yeah, probably the devil. So if the devil wants you to do OnlyFans, what would God prefer you do?
Not do
What
OnlyFans.
the f-
Oh, so then, and are you consciously doing OnlyFans on purpose, even though you know that this is against God's preference?
Yeah, and like I said,
And your father is the devil. Do you understand that? Your father
Oh
is
my God,
the
I'm a
devil.
Satanist,
If you
I'm a
say,
Satanist. You
my
guys
father,
caught
the
me.
devil,
You
wants
guys
me to
caught
do
me.
this thing, and I'm going to keep doing it, that is your father. Your father's not God. Your father's the devil.
all right, you caught me.
I don't believe in that. He died for our sins because we're thieves and do all that crazy stuff. So I don't believe what he said.
Neither do I, but there's
No, you
way
don't believe what I
around.
said? What would you call it other than satanic to know that God doesn't want you to do a thing and you willfully do it anyway and spit in his face? What would you call that?
Everyone
is that
does that.
satanic?
It's called
Would
being a
would
sinner.
Would you say
It's
that
called
that's,
being a
that's a
sinner,
good
and
Christian?
we're all
Let
sinners.
her
I believe
answer.
she
It's not
hasn't-
your turn.
I believe she
What
hasn't.
would that be?
I believe that she hasn't had the chance or the luxury of
Oh, she
being
hasn't
told
had the
when
chance.
she was
Oh,
younger.
oh. Yeah, she hasn't had. What chances has she not had? She literally just got
I
done
don't
saying.
know.
So just so you know, let me reiterate this. I asked her, "Do you think that God or the devil would prefer you do OnlyFans?" She says the devil. And I said, "What would God prefer?" "Well, for me not to do it." "What, are you going to do it anyway?" "Yes." "What do you mean? What chance?" That's literally a person who is saying, on purpose, I'm going to be the enemy of what I think God's will is. How is that not satanic? Can you
No,
explain
I'm
that
not
to
saying
me?
that it's not satanic. You're saying
Okay.
you said that her dad is the devil or whatever. Her father.
Your
is the devil.
well, okay, so if the Father, the thing that you worship, is telling you to do a thing, and you go against it, and instead you're insistent on going against or going towards the other thing to lead you,
Yeah,
then
you're
you're
just
treating
called
that
a
thing
sinner.
as the Father, right?
Yeah, you're just called a sinner, not the devil's daughter.
I would argue that, Nicolette, you said
Bro,
that you want to serve
you're
God.
making a linguistic fallacy here. So
I would argue that
if
you're
you
not really
if
serving
you are
God if
doing
you
the will of the
participating except you don't know
devil,
that God wants you to.
if you're doing the will of the devil and you're following the devil, how's the devil not acting as the Father for you?
Just because you're a sinner doesn't mean you're not a Christian and God is not your father.
Does Jesus reference your father, the devil, multiple times in the Bible?
I don't know.
We're
What is-
all
what is-
sinners.
what is he
We're all
referencing?
sinners. You're a sinner.
What is he referencing? He's referencing a rejection of God.
Yes.
So there's a big distinction. Probably the worst is the blasphemy against the Holy Spirit, which is the unforgivable sin.
And it's actually a sin
this-
to judge other
this thing-
people, so
stop
you're
talking,
sinning
I'm
right
talking.
now.
Stop talking, I'm talking. So the unforgivable sin is the blasphemy against the Holy Spirit, right? So the blasphemy against the Holy Spirit is, I know for sure that Jesus is divine, but reject his will anyway. That's blasphemy against the Holy Spirit. So it's the rejection of the divinity of Christ. So how else would your father be anything but the devil? I don't understand that.
It's a sin to judge, and you're doing it over and over and over
Oh,
again.
it's not a sin to judge. You just
It's
made up shit.
erroneous.
You're making up shit. It's not a
Erroneous.
sin to judge. We judge all the time. It's called righteous judgment. We're instructed to judge in the Bible many, many times. It's an atheist talking point. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about, as usual.
Nicolette, I think like this, the way that I see it is like you said that being a Christian means serving God and telling people about His word. And I would argue, and again, I can't judge who's saved and who's not saved. Only God is the one that can judge that. But I would say, based on your actions and what you've spoken, that you are not actively serving God, and that is a scary place to be in. And honestly, I would urge you just to repent and go before the Lord and to turn to Him and to His righteousness. And because it's a much better way of life, like these ways that you're living right now, I think in a few years' time will be really, really harmful to you, and you'll see that later, and you'll be in a bad place. But again, like that's between you and God. And so
You're right. It is between me and him. So that's why I don't like to talk about religion.
What do you want to talk about? The football team?
Well, when you have to understand
We
that
can
when you
talk
make the
about the football team.
claim, when you make this claim, I am this thing. When other people who are that thing say, no, you're not, right? You are talking about religion. The second you state, I am the thing, then you are saying there's certain attributes and criteria that I follow, which make me this thing. And so, of course, people who are actually that thing are going to be like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's not what this thing is.
I don't like to talk about it because of people like you. They're going to tell me,
boy.
you're not a right Christian. You're not. You're the devil's child.
GMD Jim donated $200.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate
We all
it.
serve a master.
Thank you.
We have no choice. If you do not serve a God and His only begotten Son, you are serving Satan.
And that's
Simple
why
as.
you would say your father's the devil, right? The
against
servant
him.
of the devil.
And that's why, like, what you're saying, I'm so sorry. I genuinely don't give a fuck about your opinion. So you're talking and
that's
talking,
nice that you
but
say
you're not
that.
going to, like,
It doesn't,
change my mind.
it's irrelevant whether or not you care about my opinion. It's not relevant to me whether you care. There's tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, potentially millions of people who will see the clips from this show. They will care about my opinion. You're irrelevant as far as that goes. You are here in order for an assessment of worldviews to take place, and that thousands of other people can see the assessment between the distinct worldviews and make their own decision. I'm not confident I could ever bring you, a person who says, I know God wants me to stop doing this, but fuck that guy. I'm not sure I could ever bring you to the sound reason of thought or logic. I'm not sure I could ever do that.
So I believe that there can be gay Christians. You can argue the same thing about them. They're knowingly committing a sin, but that doesn't make them any less of a Christian than anyone else who's not gay.
Yeah, so you're making a massive category error. There are Christians who I think could have same-sex attraction who do not act on the same-sex attraction. Instead, they avoid that sin and devote their life to God. You're doing the opposite. What you do is go, I know this is a sin, I'm just going to do it anyway because fuck God. That's what you're saying.
That's crazy that
That's
you
a
said that.
big difference. Do you understand the difference between a man who says, I have same-sex attraction, and this is a vice that I struggle with, but I'm purposely not doing it to devote my life to God, versus you who say, I know this is a sin, but I'm going to do it anyway.
So the fact, I was willing to hear you out until you just said, F God, I will not stand for that. I don't fucking do or the way I live my life. That's very fucking disrespectful. And I would never do that. So fuck you.
Do you understand the distinction of me giving a prefix for
No,
a thing
I
which
don't
is
like what you just
applied
said. I don't
versus
like what
me
you just
stating
said.
the thing? I'm sorry. Do you think?
I don't
do you
like
think
that
that
at all.
God? Do you think that God doesn't understand what I just said? Do you think He doesn't know what I just said?
No,
Do you think that you trying to convince people that I said a thing I didn't say matters? It doesn't matter.
No, what I'm upset about is that you said that I'm saying that, and that's
You
disrespectful
are
to
saying
me.
that. How are you not saying that? You literally said to me, I know that this is a sin, it's of the devil, and I'm going to do it anyway. How's that not spitting in God's face?
You're
Explain it.
disgusting. You're disgusting.
Explain it.
That's fucking
Explain how it's not
disgusting.
spitting in God's face.
You're a disgusting human
You get
being.
gangbanged on camera. You're worried about me being disgusting?
I can already tell
No.
that.
You take dicks in your mouth in front of other men, and I'm the disgusting one? Can you explain
fucking
one more
disgusting.
time how you can spit in God's face and then pretend that you're obeying His will and I'm the disgusting one? Can you explain that?
Literally, suck a dick. I don't really give a fuck about your
Yeah,
opinion
suck a
anymore.
dick. That's what you do for a living, not what I do.
that kind of talk.
He's disgusting. I can't. I don't respect him at all.
Can God forgive if he did OnlyFans?
He's
Can he
fucking
forgive?
Of course,
if he wrongs?
of course.
Absolutely. No one's
I always
ever
wondered
done
that because I'm very interested in going to the church. I'm going, actually.
Yeah.
The whole
Later.
reason that God sent Jesus was because someone like me, a thief, someone that judges, that's why He literally died on the cross. So, that is literally why He came. You know how a lot of people say, well, it's just I don't go to church because there's a bunch of hypocrites. Literally, Jesus died because of hypocrites. So, we are His fans. You know,
so
that's
he
what
does forgive and stuff like that. So
Yes,
if we would
murders go to heaven.
But only.
Is that so?
Only,
That's a different thing,
But
right?
He will
It's a
only
repentance.
forgive if you want to be forgiven, because we have free will. So it's just if you want to be forgiven. You know, because, for example, you said, I know I'm saved, I'm going to heaven.
yeah.
I'll stop. It's okay.
Oh, yeah, that'd be
He's
good.
fucking disgusting again.
What? Rude. Okay. You're the
you for
designated
answering.
reader. Go ahead.
So ugly.
Thank you, North
I
Bay.
didn't know you were a bulldog. That's crazy, man. But it's strictly Hornets over here. NHS Mustang Bulldog. But you cool though, bro.
North
What
Bay,
the-
thank you for that
the
message. I don't know.
tippy-toes?
Nick, are you wearing a shirt or something?
It's my high school.
Oh. How did that come up? And if you can read this one, please.
If Nicolette spent as much time filling her head with knowledge and literature as much as she does filling it with PP and doing seminal fluid instead,
Oh,
she would
man.
actually have an argument.
Killer of cereal. Thank you,
Did you
appreciate
hear what she
that.
just said? Say it again for them all to hear.
I was like, she just brings in the most money.
Thank you.
I mean, it's been a slow night, to be honest, Nicolette. You're not doing the best.
You're welcome. I tried with the fucking hat, okay?
She tried. She did try. Well, maybe we can come back to some of that conversation later. I'd like to take it back to dating a little bit here. Has anybody here had a roster? A roster?
What's that?
With animals?
Anissa?
No.
Anissa? Anissa?
Anissa?
Anissa? Have you ever had a roster when it comes to dating?
I have not.
Because I feel like you have Riz. So like, I feel like you just like slay.
What the?
I haven't.
No? Okay. All right. What about you?
I do not know what it means.
Multiple men. Dating multiple men.
No.
A lot of options. Roster? No roster? Do you play sports?
I get asked that a lot. Yes, I did, but not what
What
you
do you-
probably think. I did.
Badminton?
I said not what you probably think.
Oh.
I did cheer and
Okay.
softball.
Oh, okay. All right. Ever had a roster of guys?
No.
What? You no? None of you? No? No roster? You've never had a roster? Dating app? No roster? Because I don't know. You two are friends, right? I feel like you guys got Riz. Like, what's it called? What's that? Like sleeper Riz. You guys have sleeper Riz. Okay. Nicolette roster? Oh.
Dylan Joe donated $199. Sorry to interrupt.
Thank you, Dylan.
Love you, Brian and fam. I just sent an email to Madison cause I want to send you guys a hand-painted portrait to show my love. Andrew, burn this witch. The power of Christ compels her.
Crazy.
Yo, Dylan, thank you for the TTS, man. Appreciate it. I mean, you can also, if you want to email me too, brian@whatever.com, if you want. We have a couple pieces of artwork in the studio from viewers, so yeah, we hang it, I guess. Roster, Nicolette,
Well, this may come as a surprise to you all, but yes, I have.
huge surprise, massive surprise. Didn't see it coming. The football team. Was it the offensive or defensive line?
I don't know their position. All I know is their position, like in bed.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm not done, Nicolette. So, okay. How many guys from the football team did you get?
Only like 4.
Only 4. Yeah, only 4.
Yeah.
And it was just one football team? Was
Yeah.
this like in high school?
Dude, why'd you have to ask that question? That's
'Cause
kind of
it
weird.
is?
That's kind of weird.
Why is that weird? It was either in high school or in college?
Well,
Unless it was like,
okay, don't even go there. Don't. I mean, yes, high school.
okay.
She's a
Okay.
At your high school?
Yes.
Huh, okay.
Okay.
Tell us, how big's the roster been though?
Oh, like I said, only like 4 or
Oh,
3.
okay. I thought you were talking just about the football team, but maybe there was.
Yeah, no. I can only handle so much dick at a time.
Oh boy. Hold on, I got.
Get the rocks. Yeah. Abdul? Yeah. Get the rocks. Get the rocks.
Damn. Okay. That's cool. Roster?
No
roster.
roster.
You got a roster. Never had a
roster.
boyfriend.
Nope.
Never a roster.
When I love hard. Only one man.
Can we see the tattoos again? I think that the chat wants to see the tattoos. So you got
Oh, I'm getting rid of them. I don't know how to show them.
like I guess you got to stand on the chair or something.
It's,
Wait.
oh no.
It's-
Can you not see? I don't think you can see from there. There.
Devil Angel. Okay. All right. What was the explanation again for the tattoos?
Oh, like when I was younger, I mean, my name Angelic, it's because like I kind of realized growing up, in some people's stories, you're going to be like an angel, and other people's stories, you're like the worst person alive and like the devil. Like everyone's perception of you is different, and I found that interesting.
Got it. Roster? Ever had a roster?
No, never had a roster.
Actually, I'll ask you this. Remind me to ask you about the burger thing after the show. Let's see. Oh, Ix. You wanted to talk about Ix. Let's get into Ix. So going around the table, give us at least one ick, but if you have 2 or 3, we'd like to hear more. Starting, why don't we start on this side over here? We'll start with you. We'll go around this way.
Yeah, I probably have a few. Men that dress really zesty is a big ick. Like really fruity, zesty men, not about it. Men that
No, sorry, go ahead.
men that
Zesty.
are liberals,
Liberals?
not a fan.
Not a fan of
about
liberal
it.
men.
Atheists, a-religious.
Yep.
Let me see, short
Ick.
men is a ick.
Short men.
Yeah, shorter than me.
I think you lost. You're going to lose a couple of people there. How tall are you?
5'5".
5'5".
Not that tall.
So you'll date a guy who's 5'6".
Yeah,
Okay.
sometimes like eye contact is nice, but I'm pretty into the guy I'm seeing now, so.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so zesty, liberal, atheist, and short.
Yeah.
Ick.
Essentially.
All right. Angelic, what are some icks for you?
Honestly, I don't really have that many. I would say that one that I've noticed is like when a man just doesn't take care of himself. Like he orders takeout every single day. Like he just doesn't, I don't know, he just doesn't keep up with himself. Like, I hate it. Sorry.
Damn, I feel personally attacked.
Sorry.
Shit. DoorDash every day, bro. Every day. Okay, what about you?
Short temper.
Why you guys got to throw me under the bus like this, man? All right, what about you?
Whenever they wear their shorts past their knees.
That's valid. Nicolette?
So I hate when they mansplain. I hate guys who paint their nails. I hate when guys wear that one dangly like cross earring on one ear. Those are my icks.
Gives you the ick. Okay, all right. What's mansplaining for those who don't know?
So mansplaining. So I saw a funny meme. So say this is a guy saying this to a girl. Well, mansplaining is when men explain.
Profound. That's profound.
No, that's like saying a guy. That's a guy. My example of a guy mansplaining.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Any icks? What are the icks?
Having a girl best friend.
Okay, a girl best friend. Any others? Any other icks?
Being like one of those weird mama's boys, where they're like in love with their mom, and like the mom is in love with the son, in like a really weird way though.
In a weird way.
Yeah.
Okay. So how's that? Have you experienced that with the guy you've dated, or?
No, I've experienced the girl best friend, but not the mom.
Girl
but I've
best
had
friend.
friends that have experienced that.
So would you date a guy who had female friends?
Yeah.
But not. What if it's the best friend? No.
No.
Okay. You think? Why is that?
Because it usually causes trust issues.
Okay.
But you
I
state
don't
when he
disagree.
called your best friend's name when he was kissing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it's like there's.
He cannot have a best friend,
background.
but he can call your best friend's name when kissing.
Yeah.
Do you have any close male friends?
No.
No. Any male friends?
Yeah, I
Okay.
do.
Okay. Huh, all right. What about you?
I
Icks?
would say no ambition and
Mm.
addicted to video games.
Oh, addicted to video games. Okay. Andrew might have thoughts on that one, but what about you?
Yeah, well, I mean, that would just rule me out, you know.
Damn.
If you spend like more than, I would say, 4 hours a day.
What?
That's casual.
Really? Wow.
And men spend, well, I've never really understood this because men do spend tons of time on their hobbies. So whether they're doing, so I have a good friend of mine, for instance, he's a leather worker, very, very, very skilled leather worker. And for leather workers, the more gaudy they can make a thing, the better it is. And he has just thousands of tools, and he can actually take your face and put your face in a piece of leather. That's how good he is. He spends, I don't know how much time on it. He never makes any money at it. He doesn't want to make any money at it. He just does it as a hobby, and he's obsessive about it. And yeah, I would say probably not every day he would spend 4 hours, but if you were to average all of the time he has spent on it, it would probably average to like 4 hours a day, probably.
What would be like real world positives of spending 4 hours per day gaming?
What would be the positives of spending 4 hours a day leatherworking?
That you can actually create something like malleable, like a real physical item.
Yeah,
like
but what if you don't? What if you don't? You're just doing it because, I mean, he's not creating physical items for anybody. He just makes stuff for the fun of making it.
Yeah.
It's not for the benefit of anybody except him. So, like, what does that actually do for anybody except him?
Nothing, but what does gaming
Nothing.
do?
Yeah, but I mean, even if it does nothing, why would one of those be appropriate, not the other one? So, in other words, I think that the hobby of gaming assists men with challenges, with camaraderie, and it assists them in many ways when it comes to, especially men often will lean towards games that have incredible storylines, things like this. And the reason for this is because you can't, as a man anymore in modernity in the West, you're not going to go be an adventurer anymore. You're not going to go get on a ship to the new world. You're not going to be going and exploring the depths of the ocean. You're going to be kind of living that through novels and various things like this. Video games offer challenges, they offer escape, and they offer camaraderie. And I don't actually see why there's a big problem with that.
Maybe you
to be
could change
honest.
my mind because when I'm thinking about it too, it also offers community to men as well.
Also, you can't go on like a 7 kill streak in Battlefield.
Yeah, well, there's not that many ways other than maybe at your job for men to compete with each other anymore.
That's true.
Right? We can't really just go to the gladiator stand and just beat the shit out of each other. The world has moved past that. So unless you have like a sanctioned UFC fight or something specific or particular that way, video games are a really good way for men to compete with each other from all over the world. And they seem to have a lot of fun doing it. It builds a lot of camaraderie. They have a good time. I don't really see why it's such a problematic hobby for women.
Can I push back because I'm genuinely curious because for me that's why
I know
think
why,
you might-
Andrew. Go ahead.
You could probably change my mind, but then, so if you're looking for that, then why don't you do like UFC or something like that? And then when you're doing video games, it's almost like you go into a different fantasy land, which what you were explaining. But genuinely, I'm just curious, like.
Also, boxing, pugilism, UFC, things like this, they cause damage to one's body. And so, as a man, if you have the option of taking care of your family, you have to limit the amount of damage which is done to your body, especially from the form of a hobby. Otherwise, you cannot continue to produce the work necessary to continue to support a family. So, if that is the case, and it is the case for most men, in fact, many men's jobs damage their body enough they couldn't even do boxing or competition external to that anyway. Construction, concrete laying, things like this are incredibly damaging to the body over time. They end up with back problems, arm problems, neck problems. There's no construction worker I've known who's worked construction for more than 10 years that doesn't have actual issues with their body. So I think that they have, they're tempering responsibility with escapism and also with competition, and seems to be a fine hobby.
I
don't really see what the problem with the hobby itself is.
Because I read a lot, and that's kind of like my form of like going into another world, I guess, and thinking. So I guess I never just put two and two together that that's why men are gaming.
Well, it's not. I think when people say I'm going into another world, that's even not the case. What's happening is ideas are conveyed best through story. So if you want to convey an idea to a person, you can use straight philosophy to convey an idea, but most people don't understand philosophy. Like, take our OnlyFans friend over here. She doesn't understand anything about argumentation, philosophy, nothing. But maybe I could convey things to her in story form, and she would understand some of those concepts. So when you're relaying experiences through story, it's not even just escapism. It's a way for you to engage with concepts that could be bothersome or new to you, and a way to reconcile those concepts. And that's how human beings have been communicating great ideas since the dawn of time.
I like that thought process, and thank you. I never thought about it like that.
I used to play video games, although I don't anymore. I stopped in 2020 or so, stopped playing video games entirely. But I think part of it is why women don't like men who play video games is because leisure time activities, whether video games or otherwise, are not something that they can benefit from. So I think it's really as simple as that. You don't stand to benefit.
I got to get pushback to this. So men do podcasting as a hobby, right? You would agree with me that almost no man ever is going to be able to make a career out of podcasting. Like, basically nobody who's in the field of podcasting for the most part is ever going to be able to make a career out of it.
Sure, yeah, most men.
And they devote hours and hours to it, though, right? Now, oftentimes without ever being able to build an audience or this type of thing.
Sure.
So, I mean, I think that this is the same kind of practical application of video games, right? Same thing. It's like you can take this hobby and you can say, well, you get nothing out of it. I think men get a lot out of it.
Why did you stop playing?
Well, no, I'm not saying that the men don't gain benefit from it. I'm saying the women don't gain benefit.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I misunderstood.
Yeah, the women don't gain any benefit from men playing video games, so.
I would argue that. I loved when my ex played games because that was my time for him to shut the fuck up and me just like.
Why did you
get
stop
me-
playing?
Shut the fuck up!
Oh, okay.
Why did you stop playing?
Well, I played a lot, and it was distracting me from pursuing other things.
I think it can be
So-
an addiction for sure. And even reading or any kind of escapism can be an addiction. And it can be like, if you want to go and like live in another reality and like escape to that, I think you have a serious internal problem. And it's like not wrong to take time and to relax and to explore concepts or to even like play video games for an hour a day. But when it becomes an addiction, that's where I think like the ache comes from, or like that's where I think it becomes a problem. Not just video games, but really anything.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're right that I think that you can lose yourself in any passion. You can play the guitar too much. You can lose yourself in any passion which you have. But honestly, I think that most women just get the ick from video games because the attention's not on them and they just like seeing men miserable, honestly. I mean, it's not, there's no good answer for it. Women will spend hours of their fucking time doing their nails. Hours, I've seen it. Hours and hours and hours. And in fact, show of hands, how many women here have spent multiple hours on their nails? Show of hands. Yeah, okay. But somehow that's okay. That's appropriate. That's
Getting your
fine.
nails done isn't
right?
a hobby.
What's that? Yeah, what else is it?
Or my hair.
What, hang on, what do you mean it's not? What else is it? Besides a hobby, what else could it be?
It's a luxury. It's a form of spoiling yourself.
I do it so that I
So
look
it's
presentable.
But time is the most expensive thing ever, right? So if a man wants to spend his very expensive time on just gaming, why won't you just let him be?
No, I'm not arguing that he shouldn't.
That's a
but
luxury too, right? If you can make
I
time.
know, hang on. I want you to think of how unreasonable it would be if a man came over to you and was like, you know what? I'm sick of you spending this much time on your nails. You spend hours on your nails. It's ridiculous. Well, you might be like, look, I like doing it. Mind your own business. You know, go away, whatever. And I think that would be totally justified. But for some reason, men having some form of thing that they're interested in, which isn't you, just seems to make women fucking miserable in a way that I don't really understand. I don't understand, because women have all sorts of flitty, stupid-ass hobbies. They scrapbook, they do their nails incessantly, they focus on putting pictures together in certain categories. They focus on all kinds of stupid-ass shit, and men don't give a fuck. But somehow when men play Red Dead Redemption 2 and I ain't playing that stupid game again, it's like, yeah, I'm playing the stupid game again, go away. You know, I don't get it.
I would say that women innately, when you don't have God or something else to take that place in your life, fill that hole in your heart, they will look to their partners to do that. And so maybe the types of relationships that you're talking about stem from women who look to their partners like they're God, and they just want all of their attention, and when you don't give it to them, then it's wrong. But I would say that when you're in a healthy relationship where you're not each other's idols, then like it is okay for a man to have another hobby, like playing video games, like maybe if it's equal to me getting my nails done or doing my hair or whatever. Like you should have your own.
I mean, who cares if it's equal? If he spends 2 more hours or 5 more hours or 10 more hours per week playing video games than you do doing your nails, who gives a shit?
Well, yeah,
People
as
have
long as
different
it's not an
interests, they have different
addiction,
hobbies.
like, as long as it's not an addiction and it's not overtaking your life and like
It's not,
you're
yeah.
doing that,
Well,
that's fine.
Well, the thing is, though, is that you have to even be cautious with that, right? It's like, oftentimes what I'll hear from women is, they're addicted to video games. And what that really means is they're not spending enough time doing this other thing that I want them to do. And so they consider it an addiction when there's no addiction. It's like people who get off of work, men get off of work, they just work let's say 10, 12 hours. And by the way, the 8-hour workday in America is dead. Men work generally 10, 12 hours now. They don't really work 8-hour shifts anymore. You can't support a family on that. We all know that. So they're working their asses off. They get home and they're like, look, just let me eat and play a fucking video game and get off my back. And it's like, that seems totally fair to me and reasonable. I just don't know why the idea that men just must be, all the time working towards some goal to pamper a woman's ass, it's just bothersome to me. It makes no sense.
Yeah, you've made me rethink a lot. So I'll say my icks are, I guess, just like nothing going for them, like doesn't have any drive to do
All right.
anything, but video games is out.
Ix?
I had something similar, like no goals, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Also, no driver's license is a big one.
No driver's license. Okay, that's
And-
fair. That's fair.
Yeah, and then someone who doesn't go to the gym.
Doesn't go to the gym. Okay. Ix for you?
I think very bad teeth.
Bad teeth. Okay.
Very bad, yeah.
Fair. How are Tristan Tate's teeth? Okay. All right.
It's really funny to me how many European women say that, even though European women especially are kind of like known globally, and British people and English people especially, for having bad teeth. But for some reason, that's always a big priority that I hear from European women.
That's true. A lot of get teeth done, plastic surgery, but I never had anything with my teeth. I just like normal teeth.
Yeah, well, I would just wonder if the reason for that is because it's so common that when you see a man or a woman with good teeth, you're like, wow, that's an exception to the rule.
It's a little bit idolized as well, yeah. It's like, you have to have good teeth, they have to be pearl white, they go to Turkey all the time, my friends go all the time just for their teeth. Yeah, it's true what you're saying.
Ix?
Acting nonchalant is a big ick. As well as not being confident, so there's kind of like a spectrum there, like can't be nonchalant and like not care about your partner, be too confident, but also don't be insecure
Okay.
or overly insecure, like at least try to project confidence.
You said acting nonchalant.
Yeah.
So how does that look like?
Like acting like you don't care about your partner, or acting like you don't care when they have a concern, or letting them care more about your relationship is being nonchalant.
Isn't that the best dynamic though? When the girl cares more than the guy?
That's the worst.
That's the worst. Do you prefer it when the guy's more into you than you're into him?
I think it should be equal.
Or equal? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody here have a preference there? You prefer the guy be more into you than you're into him, or the reverse?
More into him.
You more into
Are
him?
you more into him?
I think it only works when the guy's more into you.
Okay. What do you
Yeah,
think?
I like refuse to chase a man.
Refused? Okay.
I agree.
So more into you than the reverse?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want them to be more into me.
I like whenever I'm more into them.
I'm more into him.
More into him.
When he's pursuing, he's more into me.
Okay. A couple different answers here. We've had this conversation on the show before. I definitely think it's the case that relationships seem to work out better when the woman's more into the man than the reverse. Also, I'm not even sure if I believe some of you, because it's like there's probably plenty of guys who you turn down who are like really, really into you. So I think this added level of interest doesn't change your attraction to them.
I think it has to be like a certain amount, so not like overly, but also like enough that it's like desirable. And also, along with what you said, I had the opposite experience. So with my ex, I was putting in way more effort. I was way more into him than he was into me. And
Like you were simping for him, kind of?
no, it's just that I stayed with him when he was acting uninterested, and
Okay.
yeah, that's not how it should be.
Wait, you said you were putting in way more effort.
Yeah,
Like,
so
So how so?
like I would try to spend he never took me on dates, or he stopped.
So he
that
used to
kind of
take you on
thing.
dates,
Yeah.
and then he stopped.
Yeah.
And then were you taking him on dates?
No, but I would try to, and he would have like some excuse for it.
Okay.
I think like for sure, like when you're dating, I like for like the man to, well, I mean, like, you know, when my husband, he was pursuing me, and then when we got married, it switched and it worked out great for
Well,
us.
I don't know if we heard the rest of
I'm sorry, I didn't
No,
mean
you
to
didn't cut me
you
off.
off.
Yeah, that's
Was there
fine.
more?
No.
Okay, but you said you put in more effort. So he used to take you on dates, but then he stopped, and you tried, but then he was...
Yeah, so I feel like there's like a lack of effort on his part.
Okay.
Or lack of pursuing. So
How long were you guys dating for?
about a year.
This was the 1 year guy?
Yeah.
Okay. And you okay with your nails over there?
Sorry.
So, how soon into the relationship did he stop taking you out on dates?
Some months in.
Isn't that pretty normal though? Like, I think that's pretty
No.
normal to get comfortable.
Not too comfortable.
So when you were first dating, he was taking you out? Like for dinner? What was he doing?
Yeah, like normal couple stuff, going out.
Mini golf?
Like dinners.
Dinner?
Yeah.
Okay. Were you guys living together?
No, this was in high school.
Oh,
so
high
I mean,
school.
a lot of it, like
Hmm.
underlying, is just immaturity.
Sure.
But yeah.
Isn't that kind of normal though? Like there's the courtship and then, okay, well, we're boyfriend, girlfriend. Now we can just like kick it and chill and stay inside and do nothing. Isn't that that's normal, right? What kind of relationships y'all been in?
I think there should be a balance of both, where you can kick it and do nothing, and then you also go out on dates at the same time. And there is effort from both parties that both are participating in, because you just like hanging out with each other.
What? I don't know. I think after like 3 dates, as a man, you should just kind of stop putting effort in.
I think it's a woman's job as well to put effort in. Why would a man take you on dates if you give him a headache or anything at all?
You know what?
show interest.
I want to retract my last statement. After the first date, you should stop putting effort in.
Really?
As the man.
That's how you get cheated on. Girls get
No,
bored,
but
guys
it's
get
a woman's
bored.
job as well, right? To surprise a man, take him on a
No.
date sometimes. If you're in a relationship, if he takes you out on a date, would you go? Then you can still have a date
Would
together.
I go?
Yeah, you say you have to stop as a man doing dates, but if she asks you out on a date, like, hey, I still love you, we've been inside for a month, let's go out.
Well, I'm pretty introverted and I'm a homebody, so
All right, if she put on the candles, orders dinner, it's still a date,
Oh, yeah.
right? You do not have to go out for a date. You can
Yeah,
have
we
a
stay
good
in.
movie.
yeah.
But it's
Game
still a
of
date,
Thrones,
right? You do not have
House
to-
of Dragon, Breaking Bad.
Yeah, you do
The
not have to go
Sopranos,
out for a date, then it's still a date.
DoorDash. It's perfect. Yeah.
Then it's still a date, right? So you still do little dates.
Well, I
you
think
spend
when a
time
girl,
together.
yeah, but
It's-
I think when a girl thinks of a date, it's like we're gonna go out.
No, not all the time.
We're
I
going
think
out.
time is very expensive. It's the most
Yeah,
expensive
but it's
thing.
is just spending time together a date.
I think my
I think
point
so
was
because you're
that
spending something very expensive. Yeah.
Go ahead.
you should be like demonstrating effort. So even if you are staying inside, like do something that demonstrates putting effort into
Put
your
on that
relationship.
stupid candle. It's fine.
I do.
Put on some
I
lingerie.
demonstrate effort all the time. I invite her over to my place.
Yeah, that's effort,
That
right?
is effort.
It is.
Yeah,
And if she puts
I'm
on some hot lingerie
text-
for you, that's a date too.
I text my thumbs. They get tired. Come
That's
over.
effort. So you do
Today.
the effort.
Huh?
So you do the effort.
Yeah, I put
Then
in
it's a
effort,
woman's
you're
job
right.
to make the day of the date better. If you invite her over, you're
You know
dating.
what? I want to get the women's feedback on this. I think this is a great date. I invite a girl over to do a laundry date and a clean my room date.
Sure.
And we should show the bow. And by that, I don't mean like we do it together. I just do something else while you do it for
You're
me.
seriously dating?
Huh?
You're seriously dating at that point?
Very seriously.
Oh, yeah, I would
if
do
she's
it.
willing to do that for me.
Yeah, that's fine. You're
First
the man.
date, she should do my laundry.
Yeah, you're the man.
First date.
I would.
First date.
First date, she should do my laundry.
I would.
Hold on. Women will have sex on the first date, but she can't do my laundry?
I would.
Hold on.
I would, darling, I would.
Wait, Nicolette, you've had a one-night stand, right? Think about the football guys.
This is your catchphrase
So
right now, the
you
football.
allowed them to be inside of you, but you wouldn't fold their laundry?
Not on the first date.
You had carnal
Okay,
knowledge. You
I
had
was-
carnal knowledge on the first date, Nicolette,
I wouldn't fold their clothes on the first date.
but you would let their penis inside you?
Absolutely, because I'm getting something out of that.
Yeah, she's also getting something out of folding my laundry.
What?
Me being pleased with her.
Well, I want to be pleased.
Let's do the bow video. Let's play the bow video. This is my ex-girlfriend. We broke up, but I filmed this. Go ahead, Nick, in my apartment. Boom! Huge bow. Check that out. She practiced that.
Wait, that's your ex-girlfriend?
That's my ex-girlfriend, yeah. I had her, yeah, so that's my, she's getting my clothes, laundry. The dinner's ready. I came home from a long day of podcasting, and she's got my beer ready. I was upset with her that with the tomatoes, I don't like tomatoes, but she, not even cut tomato, just a bunch of tomatoes. One more time, let's see the bow. Boom, huge.
You're gonna die, Brian.
Wait, why am I gonna die?
After the last podcast, remember I did a bow for everybody on stream? Actually,
I want to go home.
I did
I
it
remember.
recently to a guy.
How did it go?
He laughed and he's like, "What the fuck?"
Did it work?
Well, I mean, he laughed, but I did it wrong. You said I did it like
No, you don't do it. It has to be like meek, hands here.
Like
Not
a prison pose.
Angelic right now.
Submissive and
Like submissive.
I don't know. It came like as an instinct. I just did it. He was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, and so did he like it?
I mean, he did not like it.
Oh, wait.
I guess he liked it probably.
See, it works.
It worked.
Listen, all the ladies here at the table, you might not want to do it. I'm just giving you some advice. Next time you're with a guy who you really like, just hit him with a bow.
Oh well. As soon as I
No?
land in Dallas.
Not a bow? Won't do the bow?
No, I'm not gonna do the.
Why won't you do a bow?
It's degrading.
Wait, hold on.
If a man is
It
paying
is
for the
not
house,
degrading.
pays for everything, and just expects a little bow when he gets home, and he pays for everything, he makes you secure, you do not have to work, you don't do shit in the house. He
You
does
know- wait,
everything.
What does the
What you
bow
do?
do for you that like making dinner wouldn't do for you?
Oh, she has to do that too.
And what's the difference between bowing and getting on your knees?
You can be on your knees, you can courtesy for that man as well.
What's the difference?
Get your mind out of the gutter, Nicolette.
okay.
So, really quick to you. I think in your pre-show notes you mentioned like you believe marriage is really important, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so I know there's like a cultural component here, but I assume you want your future boyfriend to propose to you.
Yeah.
Will this involve him getting down on one knee?
If you want to, yeah.
Well, typically that's what men do,
Typically,
right?
yeah, it's
Isn't getting
traditional.
getting down on a knee and like looking up? Hold on. Where is it? Here we go. Please, marry me. Wait, what was the word you used? It's degrading? Did you say degrading? Was it
For
degrading?
women to bow to a man, yes.
I think it's degrading for men to get down on one knee and spend 3 months' salary on a wedding ring. Please be with me. That's degrading.
Disagree.
Hold
Here's
on.
why.
Wait, hold on. But what burns more calories, kneeling or the bow?
It doesn't matter what born.
Just think about it though. It takes more effort to kneel. I have bad knees too.
I think a bow.
I got bad knees.
I think a bow is more like worship. Like when I think of a bow, I think I'm worshiping this person.
What's
You
wrong with-
are, it is your partner for the rest of your life till
I'm
you
not gonna worship
die.
him. The only person I worship and will bow before is God and my God in heaven. Like I'm not gonna bow before anybody else. No man, no person.
It's a religious thing, but I will
Wait,
say.
hold on. But wait,
You do not at all.
if your husband, you're going to be submissive to your husband, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And he says, bow for me.
If you look at the context of the scripture, if you're gonna go there,
Andrew?
and you have a husband that is
Phone
telling
a
you
friend.
to do something that is against the will of God,
I'm a Christian and I would
you do
bow.
not have to do that.
Andrew, what is the ecclesiastical, theological, like can a Christian man ask his wife to bow? Is it?
Yeah, I mean,
Copacetic.
so why would I don't understand what would the restriction be? There's Christians who bow to their priests, Christians who bow to God. Now, I just have to ask you, are you to submit to your husband as you would unto God?
Yeah.
And do you bow to God?
Yes, I bow to God, but my
Okay,
husband
so
is
then
not
if
my
you
God.
submit to your husband as you would unto God, and your husband asks you to bow, why would you not bow?
Because in my opinion, I think bowing is more of like worship type of movement of like a heart posture than it is more respect. Like I get where you guys are coming from, like it's a sign
You
of
mean,
respect,
well, wait,
but I
wait,
don't think
I'm
it's a sign of
super
respect.
confused. I want to untangle these thoughts, so I have them untangled. Are you to submit to your husband as you would unto the Lord?
My husband is not my God, but I
That's
submit.
not what I asked you.
Let me
Are you to
explain
submit
my.
as
Let
you would
me
unto the Lord?
Let me explain my thought on this.
Okay.
When you submit to the Lord, you're submitting to His will and what God is telling you to do, right? Like that's what you're referring
Like
to.
if he tells you to bow, are you going to bow?
To God, yes. There's nothing that
Okay, well
God
then
would
I
ask me to
understand.
do.
Are you to submit to your husband as you would unto the Lord or not?
Yes, but my husband is sinful, and if he asks me to do a sinful thing,
Why is
I
it?
will
It's not
do
sinful
it.
to bow to your husband. So Asian Christians who bow are sinful.
I would say that's more cultural. I'm talking about bowing.
Well,
in
then it's not
my
sinful in and of.
sense
Wait,
of
wait, wait.
it.
Hang on. So again, we have to untangle these thoughts. If you're in an Asian country and you murder somebody, you kill somebody without justification to your Christian values, they're doing something which is sinful, even if their culture says it's okay. Correct?
No, I don't agree. with
What? So if their culture says it's okay to murder, it's not sinful?
that. No, sorry. You're like losing me in this. Like.
Okay, well then just engage with the question. What you're doing is trying to anticipate what you think I'm going to say. Don't do that. Just answer the question. In a culture where it's okay to murder, the Aztecs, for instance, they take you up on a pyramid, they cut your heart out, right, and give it to their sun god.
Yeah.
Even if culturally that's okay, you would say that ethically that is incorrect, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So if that is the case, when you say, okay, it's culturally okay to bow, you're also saying, but it's not sinful to bow. You're not saying that they shouldn't bow because it's sinful, right?
Right. Because
Okay,
there's
so
nothing
then if that is the
inherently-
case, then bowing in and of itself is not sinful.
Yeah, I would agree. Bowing in and of itself is not sinful. For
Then what's wrong with
me,
bowing to your
and-
husband?
Well, because if I'm talking about personally for myself, I view in my own culture and my own tradition, I view bowing like I myself reserve that only for the Lord. So if
Yeah, but
someone,
is it sinful?
inherently no, I don't think it's
Okay, well then I don't understand the objection. If it's not
Because-
sinful inherently, it's no problem inherently, and your husband asks you as a sign of respect to bow to him, what is the actual objection other than you just don't want to?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. That is my objection, is that, and to me, and my own view, that it is sinful for me to bow to another man. And
No.
someone else's view.
That's so you just
You can
know,
have
you just
sin
fucked
that
the whole
is
thing
just
up.
for yourself.
How
Yes,
is
you
it?
can.
Wait,
If God
no,
asks you
that
to do
makes no
something and you
sense.
don't
That makes
do
no
it,
sense.
yes.
How could it be sinful from your perspective to do this thing? How's that sinful?
Because there's a verse that says in James that he who knows what to do but does not do it, to him it is a sin. And so to me and my own personal convictions, like, I don't feel like it's appropriate for me to bow to someone else that's not God. And someone else's
Yeah, appropriate.
culture.
I can see. I can concede to appropriate. If you feel like it's not appropriate to do, I can deal with that. But that's not what you said. You said personally you feel it's sinful. And yet, if you say bowing is inherently not sinful, then what is the sin if you bow to your husband? I don't get that.
I'm telling you, there's a verse in the Bible that says that if you know that God wants you to do something and you do not do it, then to that person it is a sin. If I know God wants me to go tell this homeless person or to go give this homeless person $10 in the street and I don't go do it, I have committed a sin against God. That is what
Are
I'm
you saying that
talking
God doesn't want you to bow to your husband?
about. For me, yeah.
Is it not in your vows
Okay, well, how do you
to obey
wait?
and
Wait.
respect?
No,
your
no, I
vows?
can't. I'm sorry. I got to finish this real quick.
To my husband in my
When you
vows.
say for me, so you're saying God told you not to bow to your husband?
Yeah, God told me only to bow to him.
Yeah, when?
We're in the same culture, so would it be a sin if I bowed down to my husband in your eyes?
Yeah, I just want to know, when did God tell you not to bow to your husband? When was that conversation had?
Oh, well, when I read the book of Daniel and Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego weren't bowing down to the big idol that King Nebuchadnezzar made.
That's
And-
not an idol. Your husband's not an idol. You're not worshiping your husband like you worship God. You're submitting as you would unto God.
Yeah, and for me, in my past sinful, when I was in unrepentant, blatant sin, I worshipped the person that I was with like an idol. And so for me, I'm
Yeah, but that's
really
not
careful
worship. How is a bow a worship? That's not worshiping.
because I bow before the Lord, and that is the only person I will bow down before. And so for me, I
Why?
won't
That
bow.
makes no sense. So if you bow to a king in Europe, that's sinful?
Yeah, for me, yeah.
Oh, so does the Bible, has God made kings elect? Has he given nations kings?
I'm not saying that it is inherently sinful for every person to sin. I personally feel convicted.
It's not
that if I
sinful for
bow
every person
another-
to sin. Really?
I'm talking about for specifically for bowing, for this specific thing. I will not bow before any other man besides God. I get what you're saying, and that it's not written in the Bible.
Yeah, but I don't
do
get
not
what
bow-
you're saying.
Well,
I don't understand the rationale here.
I'm trying to explain to you my own personal convictions. You don't understand the difference between personal convictions and inherent sin. That's
Yeah, but your personal convictions are supposed to map onto Christian ethics. And if you say there's nothing unethical for a Christian to bow to somebody or to bow to their husband if they choose to bow to their husband, then
Because I
you
think so
then
that-
stated your secondary objection is the reason I don't is because God told me. These are two very bold claims. The first is saying this is not sinful, but for some reason for you it's sinful. And that's what I don't understand.
Because personal convictions are a different thing than what is written in the Bible of what is inherently sinful. And I get what you're saying, but
yeah, but you can't have a personal conviction that God told you to go suck a random stranger's dick,
no,
right? You couldn't have that
can't have
conviction.
that.
Why
Because
couldn't you have that
there's a
conviction?
baseline. Because there's a baseline of what is sin. I'm
Right,
not-
there's a baseline, so it
Yeah.
has to be inherently sinful also, right? And if you say it's not inherently sinful, then why did God convict you personally? You're the only person he convicted to not bow?
I don't know what other people's convictions are, but what I'm more in my
We're talking about
opinion-
your convictions.
Yeah, I'm talking about my convictions here, and because I have a tendency to worship people that I'm in a relationship with, I don't feel comfortable bowing to that person. I don't think that's appropriate for me to engage in because
Yeah,
I feel
appropriate's different than sinful, though.
Okay.
What would make it sinful?
I'm saying for me, I would feel like I'm going against God if I did this. For another person like Laura over here, if she wanted to do that for her husband, I'm not saying that's
As a
sinful.
Christian, you get married in the church, right? And then the priest say to obey and to respect your husband.
Yeah, of course.
So if your husband asked you to bow, to obey him, and you wouldn't, that's a sin, right? Because you took a vow.
Not necessarily, because my husband would know my convictions and
But you took a
not
vow
ask
in
me to
church in
sin.
front of God to obey.
Hey, keep on
and
saying
respect.
this bizarre my convictions thing, right? So your convictions are still going to have to be inherently or non-inherently
They would have to be within the
sinful. They're going to have
Bible,
to be. They're going to have to be sinful. How would you, if you went home tomorrow and you're like, "Hi, sweetheart, I just wanted to show you this sign of respect and bow to him"? How in the fuck would that ever be sinful?
It's not inherently sinful. I'm agreeing with you. That's why I'm not saying that no one can ever.
But I mean,
do
even
this.
from your view of conviction, how would that be sinful?
And you promise the church
Because
to
it's
obey and
setting up
respect.
my heart posture to worship somebody else. That's what I'm saying. Is that
How are you worshiping them?
Because this is my natural proclivity, my natural tendencies, and so I'm guarding my own heart by not bowing to this person.
So anything you bow to, you worship? Like you can't help yourself? You're just like,
No,
I have an
I'm
addiction
talking
to
about
worshiping that which I bow to? Or
How often do you bow to things? I'm
Fuck
talking
me.
specifically about to my husband. That's what I'm specifically referencing.
Yeah, I'm still lost actually. I don't really understand why you bowing to your husband, even if you had some conviction that you did not want to worship your husband as God, which is totally fair. I don't understand why it would mean if you did bow to him, you would be worshiping him,
It
even if you
doesn't
were
mean
convicted
that.
not
I
to
just
worship
wouldn't
him.
do it because it's my heart posture. It's affecting the way that I view this person. That's why I wouldn't do it. You asked why I wouldn't do it, and that's the reason. It affects the way
Yeah, but I mean,
view
it
that
has to
person.
comply with reason and also the ethics which you follow. So it's like just saying, well, because it's my preference, that's fine. But if so, let me just ask you this: if you went home tomorrow and you bowed to your husband, would you start worshiping him? Would that be like an immediate thing?
No, but I wouldn't. It's not something I would make as a part of my everyday life where he comes home and I bow to him the second he walks in through the house every single day.
Yeah, but why would that? I still don't understand why that would necessitate you would need to worship him. I don't get that.
If I was doing that every day, I think that would kind of like trigger like almost like Pavlov's dog's effect in my mind of here comes home this person, I'm waiting for him to come home and I'm serving him and I'm worshiping him like every
You mean
single day.
well, wait, serving him?
Well, serving
you're
him's
showing respect
fine,
to him.
but I'm
You
more
adore
talking
him. You
about-
love him. How is that worshiping him though? I don't get that.
I'm talking about specifically bowing. That's what I'm specifically.
Yeah, I'm talking specifically about bowing too.
Andrew, do you have a lint roller, please?
Yeah, I do.
Andrew.
I just wanted to trigger that OCD a little bit.
Wait, are we gonna do a Rachel cameo? By the way, I think.
Yeah, we'll bring Rachel down.
Okay. Does she have that pink, the pink neon pink sweatshirt?
Yeah, I'll get her. We'll switch chairs here for a few.
Yeah. Now, okay.
I'm dead.
How did we get there? We were talking about the bow.
Yeah, we were talking about bowing,
You
and
would
then
do
we
the-
were getting
you wouldn't do the
into
bow.
to the world.
Who would do the bow? Show of hands. You do the bow. Anissa, bow. You do the bow. Maybe the bow. Would you
No.
not hit the bow?
Sorry, bowing to my husband?
Yeah. Like, did you see the video? Were you here
yeah,
for
sure.
it? Yeah.
I'd do it.
Would you do a bow?
As a joke, yeah.
What if he was like, I want you, like if you guys were living together, dating for a year, whatever, and he comes, he gets home later, he's like, I want you to hit a bow, like every time I come home, and then give me a hug after. You wouldn't do it? Okay. You do the hug though.
A hug?
Yeah, I'm assuming you would. Nicolette, would you do the bow?
I have done it.
You tried it out and it worked. Would you do the bow?
I
Yes?
literally don't care. Yeah, I would
Don't
bow.
care, you do it? Would you hit the bow?
No.
Nope.
Yeah.
Angelic says
Oh.
yes? Okay, all right.
The wife is snoozing away,
What
so it's
the-
not gonna happen tonight.
Oh, shoot. Okay, we should have done it earlier.
Holy
Okay, that's fine. Well, if she wakes up, we can still do it, but otherwise, yeah, we'll do it another time. Okay, maybe going beyond the bow. Any objection to the laundry thing on the first date? Like, would you guys do laundry for a guy?
No.
Like, you'd fold his socks and stuff?
No.
You wouldn't fold his socks?
No.
Shorts?
I wouldn't fold anything.
Shirts?
I
Underwear?
wouldn't fold anything.
Nothing?
I want to be the one being folded over.
That was a good one. Okay. I think, what about, look, that's fine. I respect that. I do want to advise the men out there.
What is
If she
happening?
won't, just find someone who will.
I know I hit it.
If she wanted to, she would.
That's called a maid.
But my question is, why?
You know what? All these women who want a man to protect them, why don't you just buy a bodyguard?
Yeah, that's called a security guard.
Yeah, just buy a security guard. Why don't you date a limp wrist man?
And
Like
why,
me.
Why
I'm
is,
just
it,
kidding.
why is it a maid? If he's
Yeah.
paying
Well,
for the
you
house
know
and
what?
does
You
everything,
can-
why
No,
is
you
it
don't.
hire
He's
a-
saying on the first date.
Executive protection.
You would do it on the first date?
Fuck yeah. I'll
Listen.
bow for him, I'll courtesy for him.
On the first date?
If she doesn't know how to churn butter, she ain't the one.
I turned brother the other day.
I turned brothers.
You churned a brother?
No,
That could have been worse. That might have been worse. I don't know.
Girl.
I want a woman who can make me a quilt.
What would you do with twins, by the way? I'm always, if you have like
You
two men,
know-
what would you do? Would you do them at the same time? Would you?
Yes.
If she isn't Amish, she isn't the one.
So if there's any twins who are hot watching, hit me up in the DMs.
Yeah, I asked her, what would you do with like twins? And she was like, I was wondering that the whole podcast, what would you do with a twin?
You're
If she
wondering the whole
can't
podcast.
knit me a cardigan, she ain't the one.
You should put it on a t-shirt and sell it.
Have any of you ever knit a cardigan?
Nope.
Didn't think so. Didn't think so.
I can crochet, but not knit.
I thought that was the same
Too
thing.
bad. Let's see. And
I've got a sewing machine. I just don't
And-
know how to use it.
Really? You don't know how to use the sewing machine?
what I deserve.
No, but I bought it so I could learn.
Woman who can knit.
Do you know how to sew by hand?
I can sew by hand.
She sews by hand.
It comes with a wedding ring.
Comes with ring. Oh, we have a chat here from Durin.
Doesn't seem to come with a wedding ring.
I'm gonna have Anissa, if you can read this.
I used to play video games. I still do, but I used to too. Good show tonight. Nicolette, awful, just awful. Keep up the good work, Brian and Andrew.
I used to do drugs. I still do, but I used to too.
Well, that was Mitch Hedberg.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. By the way, you're gonna give Nicolette a bunch of shit, but she did engage with most of the arguments, and for that, I thank you.
Thank you. Love you.
Yeah, shout out to Nicolette. You're a legend, Nicolette.
Thank you.
You're a legend.
Hey, Andrew, I do have a question. So I know that you said that you aren't religious in the beginning. So
Wait,
you
No, the opposite. I said I'm very religious.
Oh, okay. I was like, how do you know so much about theology?
Yeah, no, I'm an Eastern Orthodox Christian. It's a centerpiece of my life, in fact, I would say.
Is that almost like the same thing as I'm Catholic? Is that almost like
Well, from my view, this is heavily contested, but from my view, Catholics were schismatic from the Orthodox Church, but you would see it as being somewhat similar from your view.
Got it.
Let's see, what else? We went around the table on icks. Did you have any other icks or the effort thing, if I recall?
That's it.
Just the lack of effort. I think women should put in like 95% of the effort and the man should put in 5%.
In
you
what?
know?
You don't believe that.
What do you mean?
You don't believe that.
Oh, no, I mean, if it was up to me, it would be like 100% effort from the woman. But I'm being nice. I'm saying 95%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I believe you.
Okay, good. I'm glad we're on the same page there. And
Well,
let's
that
see what we're going to
sounds
do.
good.
We're going to get into some... Okay, here we go. Would you rather come across a random man or a random bear in the woods? Starting with you.
Oh my god.
Have you heard of this one before?
I have. Maybe in the context of the woods. A bear.
Oh, no. Okay.
Mother-
What about you?
A man.
I
Bear.
was an
Definitely
idiot
a
that I
man.
didn't thought
Bear.
about that, man.
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 A man.
Oh man.
Man.
Right, so bear. 3 bears. 3 bears. Why do you guys pick bear? Why do you guys pick bear?
At least I know like the potential actions of a bear,
Do you?
and I don't. Yeah, like how they would react, and I don't know really if it's like 50-50 for a man. So I'd
Wow,
rather take
she
my
really
chances
did
with the bear.
Okay.
You think it's 50-50?
For the bear to say
Like they could either be good or bad, is what I'm saying. The man, like I
Yeah,
don't know.
50% of them you think would be bad?
Like I don't know.
But maybe if he's in the woods, it's because he's hunting, and so
Yeah,
he can
Okay,
protect
here,
you.
potentially,
let me
yeah.
add a
Not
caveat.
hunting you. Like
But I don't
hunting
know that.
animals.
With the bear,
I
it's
don't know that.
50%
They-
as
Men
well.
don't
Bear
go
will
to
kill you.
yeah, men
Right
don't
there.
go to the forest or wherever you said to find women to hunt.
They go
find-
hiking.
I disagree. Some do.
to hunt women.
I'm gonna go to the forest.
And
Try
hunt
to
a
get
girl.
Yes, that's a perfect
No,
place
I mean, by
for them
this
to find
logic, men
that.
shouldn't go to hospitals because that's where women
The
go. to hunt
forest?
bears.
Yes,
I would
because,
think like a nightclub or
because it's like
I-
quiet out there. Like there's no cops.
So you walk around the
like,
forest alone.
Yeah, no, I know, but just so you know,
Like
by the
people
same logic,
camping?
women do hunt men, and there are many, many women who are serial killers. Maybe more than even men. They just do it in vulnerable positions.
Yeah, we
Usually as
don't-
nurses.
do not go to
Usually
the
as
forest to hunt
nurses.
a man.
Usually as caretakers. Usually in those positions.
Okay, your
So it's
statistics
like-
are wrong.
Oh my God, Nicola.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. I don't speak Hawanese.
said-
But anyway, back to where I was before I was so rudely interrupted.
Damn.
Yeah, so by the same logic,
Be nice.
men shouldn't go to hospitals and things like this because that's where the predators are, right?
That's for you.
I'm saved by the bell.
Can you repeat the question?
Grace.
Yeah, so women also are serial killers and hunt down men and do horrible things to them. They just do it when men are in vulnerable positions. Usually as nurses, women do this. In caretaker positions, they do this. They usually do it from those positions. So if your logic is sound that men are going out to forests, some men are going out to forests to hunt down women, then by this logic, men should basically demand to never have a female nurse, right? Because that's where women go to hunt down men, right?
If that's what they feel comfortable with, like if they feel comfortable only with the male nurse, then sure.
The majority of nurses are all women. That's
Yeah.
super
Yeah,
dangerous.
almost all of them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's super dangerous for a man to be like, I want a male nurse. What if like
If that's
Wait.
their preference, like I don't have anything wrong with
Before
that.
we have too much of a back and forth, there were 2 others who picked bear. Just curious to hear your guys' input on why do you pick bear over man? We'll start with you. Why not?
I feel like you know what to expect with a bear. Like the worst they can do is kill you.
Mm-hmm.
But for a man, it could be worse. And I feel like with a bear, it's like, I think it's like for a grizzly, you just like play dead. And if it's like a black bear, you like make loud noises to scare them off. So I feel like if it comes to a point where they like try to attack you, you kind of know what to do. If that makes sense.
What would you do if they attack you? Fight them off?
I'll die. I don't care.
Oh, I have one follow-up question, but I want to just get your why do you pick bear?
I honestly kind of want to change because I don't want to die. So
You don't want to die?
I would rather encounter a man and whatever that leads to than. But
you
a bear could be
the
cute.
man could kill you.
The _random_ bear donated $100. Would you like to go on a date, a picnic lunch? I'm 7-8 inches tall with a bite force of 1,200
the
pounds. You
meme,
bring the
Kyle?
meat. I will bring the wine. 50-50.
Speaking of which, TTS is now 100. We've lowered the TTS to 100 if you guys want to get it in. Thank you, Random Bear. We have a meme about this. Brown bear, 9 feet tall, 1,300 pounds, 4 inches, by force, pelt, speed. Kyle, 5'10", 174 pounds. Project engineer, said hi to you at the gym.
Poor cow.
Poor
I
Kyle.
definitely changed my answer now. Definitely bear.
Wow, you switched.
I'm just kidding.
I did have a kind of different question. So and Andrew, tell me what you think about this one, because I think it's actually quite good. So you're spawned into a forest with a bear. Now you can choose to either spawn alone or with a man who has a firearm. do you choose to spawn into the forest alone with the bear, or into the forest with the bear, with a man who has a firearm that could kill the bear?
He's a total stranger.
Total stranger. So he might kill the bear, but then afterwards he might kill,
I will
Wait.
choose him. Yeah.
Well, so let's start here.
Yeah, I would choose the man because, I don't know, I have a better chance of surviving since he has a firearm.
Okay.
Myself.
Alone. Still
Yeah,
spawn
alone.
alone in the forest.
Mhm.
Okay.
The man with the firearm.
Okay.
I'd still be
Still-
myself in the bear.
Still, okay, alone with the bear.
The guy with the gun.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm from Texas. Everyone like around me has firearms.
I'd go alone.
Wait, was your answer bear last time or man?
It was man.
Wait, but now you pick the bear? Wait, I'm kidding.
I'd go alone.
With the bear.
No. So there's a conflation which happened. So an earlier answer was I would go alone, and so she thought that was an option which you had offered, even though it wasn't.
To the second question that I asked?
Yeah. So the gal on this side, who's wearing the black shirt, had said she'd come in alone, and you just kind of granted okay. You thought that meant alone with the bear, but she just meant I would spawn in alone, and so. So this gal thinks that was an actual option, even though it wasn't.
Wait, who answered that way?
So from my perspective, on my right, third down.
Oh, you said alone? But alone with the bear?
Yeah.
Okay, I think she knows it's alone with the bear.
Yeah, I know, but that's where the confusion is because she just said alone. And so then when it got to the other side of the table, she thought alone was an answer. That's why you keep saying alone with the bear, and she keeps saying alone is because you're talking past each other.
I'd spawn in alone and encounter the bear by myself.
But previously you said you'd encounter the man.
Hopefully, he doesn't have a weapon on him. If I'm encountering a man, I'm hoping that he does not have a weapon on him when I see him. Now, if he does, then I have to take my chances, which is why I started with a man. But if he automatically has a firearm, I'd rather go alone.
But the bear is still there, even with the man with the
Yes.
gun, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it switched. Previously she said she'd prefer the man over the bear, but now she prefers the bear over the bear and the armed man.
Because the man is armed.
And the man can shoot the bear. That's nice.
He can also shoot me.
But he will not die before.
Let's hope.
Okay. Angelic, your answer to this?
The man.
Okay.
The man.
All right. Andrew, do you think that's a good one to add to this? I think it's interesting.
Yeah, I'd say, well, it's a good caveat. It's just asking. He's in the ultimate position of authority. So now he has the firearm. So before, maybe the power dynamic was even that, okay, he's just potentially physically stronger than you, but now he's physically stronger than you and he's armed. Would that still be a more optimal situation to spawn into a forest with no gear except this guy and his gun, or you with a dangerous animal? So I would think that the answer would be obvious. I would definitely, if I were a woman, take my chances with whatever random man with a gun. I think that your chance would be significantly better getting out of that forest than if you spawned in with a bear. But.
Going back to the original question, I think you said it's 50-50. So let me maybe ask the question a bit more pointed. What percentage of men do you think would choose to victimize you in some way in this situation?
Oh, I'm not too sure about that. I meant it more in the way of I can encounter them and they can either kill me or not. That's more the way I
Well,
meant
somebody
it.
could or could not do something, but the percentage could be skewed. There's a 1% chance they could and a 99% chance they couldn't.
Mhm.
So could or could not doesn't necessarily imply 50-50, right?
Okay, yeah. I take that back then.
But like, so 50-50 would imply there's a 50% chance they could.
No, yeah, I didn't mean it in
50%
that
chance they
way.
couldn't.
Yeah.
So what percentage do you think it is, though?
Ooh, I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
All right.
If you had to give a guess, you have 10 random men on a wall. How many of them would you say, if they could, would do bad things to you if nobody knew that they were going to?
Maybe like 3.
3.
Out of 10?
So that would be 30%.
Okay.
Sure. Like, I don't know for sure, but I would say, yeah.
No, I understand. I understand. Just you're just kind of going off your intuition and your guess.
Yeah.
30%.
And then what about for you?
I think it's less than that. So yeah, that's why I changed my answer. 'Cause
Okay.
probably
If you had 10 random men on a wall, how many would you say? If they could do bad things to you and nobody would ever know, who would?
out of 100, I would say like 5.
No, 10.
3 out of 10, maybe 1.
1. So 10%.
I would say 2.
Okay.
20%.
10, 20, 30%. Interesting.
Closer to 1%.
Interesting.
Or 0.5% or 0.3%. It's very, very, very low. the amount of men who commit violent actions against women or against other men. Like, just so you know, like it's actually a very low percentage. But I would like to ask this kind of follow-up question. I'm just curious about this because Brian introduced this different dynamic. So let's say the situation was this. You respond you could pick the man with the gun, and you knew that his motivation was that he would not hurt you. He's not going to hurt you no matter what, okay? He's not going to actually hurt you. But the caveat is you don't know if he's going to share resources or demand that you give him sexual favors in exchange for him actually doing anything for you while you're in the forest. Would you still opt for the man then?
Like if he's just coexisting with you?
Well, he exists there, right? He's got the gun. He's definitely going to be the one who's getting the food. But you're not sure if he's going to share the food with you, and he can make kind of demands that are mutual, right? He can say, okay, I'll share my food with you, but it's going to require some sex or something like that, right? Would you then opt to spawn in with him?
Yes, and then I would fuck him.
Nobody is surprised. I would too, actually, but I would not like fuck him after. I would not choose a bear. He would die. If I just have to suck his dick to survive, yeah, fine. If you ask me, Daddy, fine.
Well, but you don't have to. That's the caveat, right? You don't actually have to. It's just that he's
gone,
saying,
right?
I'm not going to share shit with you if you don't.
Oh, then I would just walk on. But I would never choose the bear. No.
Really? But then you'd starve.
Darling, it's good for my diet. What are you talking about? No.
That's an interesting one for sure. Definitely an interesting one. What was the other thing we had to get to? It was dating apps. Thank you, Nick. Thank you for the reminder. Hashtag Big Labia Matter. I don't know why I just said that right now, but yeah, ready. They're clean, right? Yeah. She's got night mode on her Tinder. Okay. This is or dark mode or whatever. Timura. This is her Tinder, I guess. Next. Scorpio. Wait, go back really quick. Video chatter, trade school, presence, dog. Okay, interest, I guess. Next. Okay. That's it? There's no prompts or anything? No. Oh, okay. Well, that's a rather dull affair. No, just because there's no prompts. Next one, I guess. This is Noelle. This is her Tinder. I can be funny sometimes. Okay. 5'7", aspiring neurologist. If I had 20 minutes left to live, I would go to Michael's and buy yarn.
I love Michael's. And I love looking at yarn, so if I had 20 minutes,
Wait, is
I
that
want to
really
enjoy
like the final 20 minutes? You wouldn't call your parents, your mom?
it. They'll understand.
All right, get this girl some yarn. Next. Like if a guy just like showed up on the first date and he just like, here's some yarn, would it be on?
It's on like Donkey Kong, bitch.
It would be like flowers, showing up with yarn. I'd accept. What?
What?
It
would
showing
be
up
like,
with yarn would.
I see. Oh,
yes.
okay. Go back. Looking for short term, open to long. Drinking socially on the weekends, love style, touch, communication style, bad texter. Wow, they really did a change up with Tinder here. Works out sometimes. Is there more?
Yeah. It's just this. It's another.
A boogie with the hoodie. Okay. Yarn? Really? Okay, I don't know.
What's wrong with the yarn?
There's nothing wrong with yarn. It just seems a bit,
Why is the yarn hurting your feelings?
It does hurt my feelings, actually.
Why?
You said you wanted a girl to make you a cardigan. She's that girl.
Fair point, Nicolette.
So you want the girl with the yarn to crochet or knit, but you don't want her to have the yarn.
Can't you make it out of other materials? Can you not?
You would
wool?
knit with yarn.
Can you do it with wool? There's a wool card.
Wool yarn.
Would it still be
It
wool
would still
yarn?
be yarn. You need yarn.
I don't know enough about.
You need yarn. I'm telling you.
I don't know enough about yarn to. Okay.
I got one more thing for you.
Do we have another React?
Yeah.
What is it? What we have?
This one, yeah.
Oh.
This?
I feel like I have to pull this one up in context of convo with that has to do with something else. Let me check if we have any chats. Any dating topics anybody wants to touch on? Dating topics.
Red and green flags.
Before we get to that, we have the random bear. Oh wait, did this already
The
come
underscore
through?
random
Wait, this came
underscore
through,
bear
right?
donated $100.
Did it come through?
Would you like to go on?
Okay. Actually, we had notes from you. Another thing from you, Jamie. You said, I do disagree how some topics are handled. Seems a little harsh sometimes, but most modern women need a reality check, so it's warranted. That's what you said.
Yes.
I assume you're talking about Andrew here and definitely not me.
Let me think.
And you're way far
Yeah,
from the
yeah,
mic.
yeah. Sorry. Yeah, but Andrew's real. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's harsh, but it comes from a place of like realness.
All right,
So,
there you
know.
go. Endorsement.
And I feel like it's never like outwardly mean.
Sometimes it's mean. Right, Andrew?
I usually just match the energy. So if a woman's being like an obnoxious bitch, then I'll be an obnoxious asshole back.
Mm-hmm.
But if she's just trying to engage and have a conversation, I'm not here to purposely go out of my way to insult or humiliate anybody. I just want to engage with the ideas.
Yes.
I don't know. You were a little direct, and I was like, oh my god, I didn't try to be mean.
Yeah, I don't feel like I said anything mean to you.
And I feel like it's also how you receive
Did
it.
I wait? Did I say something mean to you?
Well, you're like, you were.
Recon donated $200. Why is it most women are incapable of logical thinking? Quit thinking all men want to hurt you. We have better things to do. Hashtag big labia matter. Andrew, love your debates.
Hey, thank you, Recon, for the great support to whatever.
Thank you.
Very kind. They've had me on many, many times, and Brian's had me on many, many times. Make sure you support the channel. But yeah, back to this. I don't think I actually said anything mean to you at all.
No, you didn't. I'm just hormonal, so when you were like, stop talking, I was like, I'm sorry.
Oh, no. Well, okay, so I will concede that can sound somewhat harsh, but try to remember that there's one of me, and sometimes when I'm engaging with a single person, 4 other people will cut in, and so I have to control the room a bit so that I can finish the portion of the conversation, but I always want to move to what the next person's criticism is. I just want to finish the engagement that I'm involved in, if that makes sense.
No, totally makes sense.
Yeah. So I don't even mean that to be harsh. I'm just trying to control the room. There's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, what is there, 10 women there right now, right? So you can imagine if you had 4 people kind of shotgunning different points at you, if they were in the middle of, it's really easy to obfuscate or move off of the topic. And so I can't get to the heart of what it is we're discussing. And also that's often done as a tactic by women who come in friends groups. They try to obfuscate so that you'll move off of the topic. And so I just try to keep it on the topic until we finish the engagement, and then I can move to whatever the next criticism is.
I totally get it. I also just had a baby, so everything sounds like I'm being attacked.
That's fair. That's fair. What was your after baby food of choice? The first thing you ate? I know that's the most important meal of a woman's life. What is it? What was yours?
Chipotle.
Chipotle?
Yeah,
My wife always wanted pizza. It was always pizza. With pineapples because she's an evil traitor. She's an evil traitor. But other than that, she's a pretty good wife.
Can I do a little shameless plug? I just started eating a whole bunch of red meat and veggies, and I'm down 35 pounds. So, so I ate that Chipotle, and then I went to work, went to work with my health.
Nice. We have a question here. Would you rather be the king?
Killer of Cereal donated $100. There needs to be more people with the mindset of Andrew. Direct, no BS, truth, don't sugarcoat anything. Call out lies, hypocrisy and corrupt mindsets, because that's what is so damaging to society.
Yo, Kill of Cereal, really appreciate the TTS, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
He's been on fire with the donos lately.
Yeah, Kill of Cereal. By the way, Kill, I've been Googling cereal gifts to for your custom TTS thing. I haven't found a good one yet, but we'll get you a custom thing set up here soon. The question is, would you rather be the king's mistress or a peasant's wife?
A peasant's wife.
Peasant's wife, okay.
Peasant's wife.
Peasant's wife?
Realistically, a king's mistress.
Okay.
Peasant's wife.
King's mistress.
Peasant's wife.
Peasant's wife.
Peasant's wife.
Peasant's
What
wife.
the fuck?
Okay.
Excuse
Were you the
me?
one who said king's mistress?
No, I think
What
Oh,
thing?
no, sorry.
What
that
are
was
you?
Nicolette.
203 viewers are in the
Very
heavens.
surprising. Very surprising. This is an
I don't know
interesting
what is
question.
happening. Maybe this is a
Would you personally
glitch.
would you be personally willing to give up the
cases
occasional
by any
catcalling
chance of
or
the
harassment
imagination.
if it meant that you never
Wait a
got
minute.
any attention from men?
In case this is something remotely real and not a fucking glitch and kick or something else, I'm Dominican Solix. I like fighting games and games in general, especially adventure games. I use this platform to relax. I play my fighting games and I hear podcasts in the background. I am an avid fan of Street Fighter and other fighting games too, and I play them wholeheartedly. Although while I hear podcast, music, or something else. So in case I am not insane, and well, this is real, you're welcome here, I suppose. I had never done this for money or shit. I'm doing this because, hey, I like fighting games. Hey, I like to relax and hear podcasts and shit. So You're welcome. Enjoy. I'm studying right now matchups and pros fighting in the field, seeing how I can become better and how I can avoid getting my ass kicked. So enjoy while I hear the podcast, or if you want to chat or anything.
Or special treatment whatsoever ever again. Starting with you.
This is insane. This has to be a glitch. Some weird shit.
Does that mean like you'll never be in a relationship even after that?
I was wondering.
Well, I guess it's you would.
Well, you could potentially be in a relationship, but whatever special privileges that men give you
So he will
inside
not
of
compliment
society,
you or
and
anything?
whatever things that are done in additional to you, which is part of female privilege, you would no longer ever get again.
The way I kind of understand it is the guy's not going to make the first move. He's not going to go for the first kiss. He's not going to ask you out. He's not going to slide into your DMs. He won't message you first. Like, you'll have to take all the initiative that men typically take on.
Okay, then no, I wouldn't give it up.
Okay.
No, I personally don't
Oh,
mind
fuck.
catcalling, like unless
Oh,
it's
no,
not
he's dead.
violent or they get close to me. But if they're like across the street, I don't really care.
What she said.
No.
I wouldn't give it up either.
No. Wait, I'm sorry. Does that mean like when you're actually in a relationship though, or just the beginning? Because to be honest, I make the first move, so like I don't really care about that. But like when I'm actually in a relationship, then I would still want the like effort and stuff.
Okay.
Or is it only
Let's
like
see
just
what-
outside? Because
We'll just grant it. We'll just grant that inside of the relationship, it no longer operates this way, but you have to take care of everything as the pretense. So you have to take care of
like being
all the date costs. You have to take care of all the open doors. All chivalry is dead, and female privilege is dead. Women are treated essentially just as interchangeable widgets to men.
Okay.
I mean, I guess I'll still take the catcalling. I don't really go out anyways.
buddy.
That's fine.
Okay.
He actually
Yeah,
lost
no,
a really good
yeah.
fight.
Okay. Interesting. Let's see. Nick, can you find, you know Zach, his Instagram? You know the guy, right? Yeah. I'm friends with this guy. His name's Zach. And I know some of you are in relationships, but let's just, if you're single, I am trying to be a little matchmaker here. So I'm going to see if you guys would date him. So this is Zach, and great guy, wonderful guy, all around great guy, nice guy, sweet guy. Well, voice crack. So we'll scroll down. We'll check out some of his photos. That's how he would look if he was bald. He plays some video games, and he can also protect you with an axe. So going around the table, would you date him?
Something about asking.
Can I decline to answer?
So no.
I thought I would until I saw the picture with a wig, because I'm not into feminine men.
With a what?
I saw a
wig?
picture with a wig.
Yeah, he was.
I'm not very into feminine men,
Excuse me.
but otherwise, if he didn't do like the feminine stuff, I would have.
Okay. What about you?
I wouldn't.
Wouldn't date him?
No.
Okay.
No.
No.
So one of the last guys I banged actually looks like him. So yes, I would.
Okay.
I'm married.
No.
What
I
the
know him,
fuck?
but no.
No.
You know him.
All right. Does it change? Does it change anything? Nick, scroll all the way up to the top. He is the owner of OTK Network, Starforge PCs. He's one of the most popular Twitch streamers on Twitch. He's a millionaire many times over. Very successful. Ambitious? Question mark. He's very successful. I don't know if he's I think he's ambitious. Change anything? You said you like ambitious guys. Millionaire. Doesn't change anything.
I don't know if I'm talking to the wind here, but in case somebody is interested in what I'm hearing, this is the Whatever Podcast on YouTube. I hear whatever podcast I like, and I like that one in the background. As ridiculous as it gets sometimes, it's entertaining. Just in case somebody wants to know where I'm hearing, let me put the title and everything in the chat, in case this is real. I still need to do what the heck happened here? How the hell I see 202 viewers? What the fuck is this?
That you still
I
not
think I've watched
feel?
him on YouTube, but
you-
I'm not sure. One of his
I
streams,
feel like
but
you guys could almost be related.
Yeah.
Why? Because they look alike, or?
I don't know. I just
Maybe.
get that.
Oh,
Get that vibe?
Get the vibe. I don't know. Pheromones or something. I don't know. Nobody? Doesn't change it for anybody?
No, for me
Okay.
as well. It doesn't change
Nicolette?
anything for me as well.
All right. Let's see what else we had. Would you date a guy who is not a feminist? And maybe also just add if you're a feminist, I guess. I don't know.
What is that defined as?
Well, there's different
I would say
definitions.
Is it like third wave feminism?
I suppose, yeah. So wait, no, you would date a guy who is not a feminist, or no, you would not date a guy who is not a feminist?
If he's not a feminist, like, does he even care about you?
Um,
And I'm not talking about like an extreme feminist, just like, you know,
Okay.
just like a little bit there. I would say no, but not.
and do you consider yourself a feminist?
Yeah, but not like an extreme one. I don't go out shouting I'm a feminist.
You just whisper it.
Pinning it on TikTok.
What about you?
I would date him, yeah.
Okay, what about you? Does a guy have to be a feminist for you to date him?
I've never really thought about that before, but I don't think he needs to label himself like I'm a feminist. But
What if he believes the things that feminists believe?
I wouldn't date him.
If he was not,
If he wasn't a feminist, I guess.
you would not date him. Okay, and are you a feminist?
Sure.
Okay.
So would I date a feminist man? Sorry, I'm getting just tired.
Yeah.
Sure, I would.
But the question was if he's not feminist.
Oh,
Yeah, that-
if,
thank
oh,
you for-
sorry,
thank
sorry.
He is not a feminist.
If he's not feminist,
Would you date him if he's not a feminist?
yes, because I believe two people can date and have differing political ideologies.
Are you a feminist?
Not a third wave feminist, but I believe women should have the same
Checkmate.
rights in the workplace.
Okay.
But
Sure. Okay. What about you?
I would not date him.
If he's not okay.
I'm not a feminist, and I wouldn't date a feminist because they're annoying.
Nicolette's funny. Okay.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, my husband's not a feminist, and I'm not either.
What's the definition that we're going based on?
Well, there's a lot of different definitions, but a movement, and I think Andrew typically says, movement towards egalitarianism or equality with a rejection of patriarchy.
Okay. He would have to be a feminist
Okay.
in order for me to date him. Sorry if I worded that differently than the original question.
Well, if he was not, well, I guess you're.
Killer of Cereal
Yeah, thank you,
donated
Killer. Appreciate
$100. Get sun, get some. Stay hydrated, stay alive. Keep life in perspective, live within your means. Never give up on yourself, never surrender to ill will. Last cue, if Trump and Kamala had baby, what name?
Tamala.
Tamala?
Tramala?
Trumala?
No. It would be Baron with 2 R's.
Cricket?
I don't get it.
Yeah, it's a very clever joke.
Let's see. Oh my lord! Oh my! Oh
Angelic, your answer to the question.
no! He got it.
I'm not a feminist,
You
and I
are
would not date a
fucking
feminist.
Crack,
Okay.
man.
Some interesting different answers here.
Shit.
Why would you not date a guy who is not a feminist?
I mean, I think.
Hold on, the question wasn't for you.
I'm just going off feminist as like very basic, cares about women's equality generally.
Oh,
So
he might
if he doesn't
say
care about that, I just feel like
Well, what if he believes in equality, but he's not a feminist?
it depends what we're defining as feminist. There's different definitions.
I agree with her.
Well, okay, I'll go back to the initial question. Why would you not date a guy who's not a feminist?
I think she answered that. No.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you have your own opinions on this. So.
Okay, so like he doesn't have to label himself as a feminist. Like I don't do that. But if he thinks that women like deserve unequal pay or women belong in the home, like I would not date him.
Okay. So if he was like, if you were dating a guy who's a multimillionaire and he said, don't worry about the job, I'm going to take care of you the rest of your life, stay home, take care of the family, take care of the kids. Do you want kids one day?
Yeah,
Yeah. You don't have to work, forget all that. I'll take care of everything.
that's more like a privilege. But like out of necessity, like it should be like women should have the ability to do that.
Sure.
He is
But would you
dead. I
object
cannot
to
believe it.
a man coming along and saying, I want to provide for everything, don't worry about work.
No, I don't think that means he's not a feminist. I think that just means he wants to provide for you. I think that's different.
Well, I suppose a male feminist could want to be a provider, although I wonder why he would want to. Okay, so you think they should be in favor of equal pay, and what was the other reason that you gave?
He shouldn't expect that all women stay at home
Okay.
or like homemakers.
What if he expects his?
That's fine. 'Cause that's like for his own.
Okay.
I'm talking about like for everyone.
Okay. Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think just like in gender roles, like I don't want him to expect me to do anything as a woman. Like I don't want him to have any certain expectation of he thinks I should do this or that I should do that.
Wait, didn't you? I'm trying to call back to the beginning of the conversation. Didn't you say men should pay for first dates?
I said they should, yeah. But if they don't, I'm not saying they have to. Like I would go 50-50, but I would prefer if they did.
So they should.
They should, yeah. But it's not like a deal. Like I'm not like, oh, like I'm not going to go on this date.
But isn't that based on a perception of a gender role?
Yeah, but it's not like he has to. I just would prefer that. Like if he
But
prefers
he has
me.
to if he's going to date you, right?
No, he doesn't have to. I just would
Okay,
prefer
so
that.
so you would go on dates with men who you paid for.
I wouldn't pay for them. No, I would go 50.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't pay for them. So then you have a perceived gender role, a stereotypical gender role that you want him to do, right?
Sure.
And so if you have a stereotypical gender role you want him to do, why are you adverse to him having a stereotypical gender role for you to do?
Because if he prefers me to do something, it's not like he's like, you have to do this. Is more
Yeah,
the way
but-
I'm looking at it.
But if you say you wouldn't date a man if he didn't pay for your date, then you're saying he has to pay for the date to date you.
No, he doesn't have to. Like I would still go on the date if he didn't pay for it.
You just got done saying that you
Like
would not pay for a
50-50.
date with a man ever. What are you talking about?
Yeah, like
how
I
does that
wouldn't
make
pay
sense?
for 100% of the date. Yeah.
She would do 50-50.
Yeah.
Many players would.
I don't.
Yeah,
so
but
if
then,
you consider
okay,
that a gender
okay,
expectation,
but
then
hang
sure.
on. That's still setting an expectation, though, that if you're not splitting the date 50-50, that he's going to pay for the date, and you're never going to pay for him on the date, which is still a stereotypical gender role. They're just saying, well, if we go on a date, we can split it, or you can pay, but I'm never going to fucking pay.
I
That
will
is-
pay. I will
that is-
pay.
How's it leading into
In
the
a
stereotype?
relationship, like I will, like I
No,
will
first
pay.
date, first
First
date.
date, yeah. First date's different. Like in the relationship, I will pay. Like
Okay,
100%.
let's talk about first date then.
Yeah, first date, I agree. I have expectation at least 50-50.
Yeah, so you have some gender roles there, then.
Would you be more or less likely to date a guy who's willing to pay for the whole date?
Yeah, I'm more likely to date.
Well,
'Cause
even
I
if
would
it's not
prefer
an
that.
outright, so even if you're open to the idea of going 50-50, even saying I prefer or this is kind of better, that in and of itself is a gendered expectation.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So are you holding one standard for you and then one standard for them?
I think that's a very specific scenario, though. Like, I think like, there's a lot more to being.
Have you ever asked a guy out?
No.
Okay. Well, there's another one. You expect men to take the initiative.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a very gendered expectation.
Sorry to butt in, but I think gender expectations, like, you can have that personally for your own relationship, but I don't think it should be, like, your view pushed onto everyone else. Like, not everyone
Yeah,
else has to.
but that really doesn't make much sense because the idea was inside of a relationship, I don't want a man to have any gendered expectations of me at all. It's like, okay, if that's the case, then why would you have gendered expectations of him? That's bizarre to me.
In a
So if you just say,
relationship,
if you just kind of
I
say,
think that's different
nobody
than
should
a
have.
first date.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go
Oh
ahead.
yeah,
I
in a
didn't mean to
relationship,
cut you off.
I think it's different than a first date. Like, I don't think I have those gender roles, gender views in a relationship in comparison to a first date.
What do you mean?
Like, I don't expect him to pay for everything, like, in the relationship.
Do you expect him to pay for most things?
No, I think it's situational. I think it depends on who makes more money and things like that.
How many kids do you want? Just curious. Do you want kids?
I don't know yet, but if I did, maybe two.
Are you going to take maternity leave?
Probably.
How far into the pregnancy do you want to continue working? Like up until you would like 8 months, 9 months?
Up until I can't, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then how much time do you want to take off after you have a kid? 1 month, 2 months, 3 months? Longer?
Maybe like the first 2 months.
And then straight back to work, and then into the daycare they go.
I mean, I'm not there yet, but
Sure, yeah.
maybe, yeah.
Okay.
I'm there right now, and that is not what you would want.
I don't think you get 2 months, right?
You get 6 weeks or 12 weeks.
Like preferably, I would want them to be watched by family, but I don't know where I'll be when when I have kids. So
Yeah, but it is very difficult to leave a 2-month-old.
Yeah. Okay. I had something else, but it slipped my mind. What about you? Why would you not date a guy who is not a feminist?
It just doesn't align with my morals.
Morals, okay.
And I wouldn't exactly like date a guy who is a feminist. There's other qualities that I look for. So yeah.
But if he wasn't a feminist, or if he was not a feminist, that would be a deal breaker.
Depends how strong of an anti-feminist he is.
Very strong.
Yeah. No.
Very strong. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure how you can even have levels to it, right? You're either pro-feminism or you're not pro-feminism, right? It's like it's really just either one or the other. I don't know how you could just be kind of feminist. It's like you just are a feminist and believe in the feminist ideals, or you don't. I don't really know how you could be in between on that one.
And I don't think most people know the true definition of feminism. People equate it to like women's rights because the word feminine is in there, but that means equal to both sides. That means you guys are splitting the first date and everything thereafter.
Yeah.
So I don't know if
it's
they know
not.
that.
I mean, it's not clear to me if feminism is about equality.
I think it is.
I look more for equity than equality.
What do you mean?
Like,
Hey, hang on, real quick. Before you tell us, are you about to use a standing on the box analogy to look over a fence?
that's one, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Let's listen. Let's hear it.
Well, I guess using them like he said, like standing on a box.
Scare him
Like,
off.
if one person is short and one person is tall, you're not just going to give both of them like one box. You're probably going to give the shorter person 2 boxes.
Okay.
But is that-
Wait. So, wait. Just show of hands, really quick. Who here is a feminist? I think you. Okay, you 4. And do you believe in equality or equity?
Equity.
Equity. What's the difference? I'm a little confused.
Like I said, like giving both one box is
Yeah.
equality.
So, question on that. I've heard some feminist arguments about, well, equality would be, for example, both men and women being subject to military conscription, the way that men are currently, but women aren't, but it would be equality for both men and women to be subject to forced military conscription. But I've also heard that it's not equity to have women be, have to register for the draft selective service. What's your position on that? Do you think women should be subject to the draft forced military conscription the same way men are? Or is that it's equity the way it is currently?
I think it's just fair the way it is.
It's fair the way that it is. So
I
just to be
wanna
clear,
input-
wait, just one sec. So currently, men have to register for selective service. If they don't, there's a bunch of negative ramifications. They can't vote. They miss out on certain federal programs. They can't get federal jobs. It's technically a felony. There's a fine. They can face prison time. So men can be drafted. They have to register for the selective service. Women don't have to register for the selective service. They can't be drafted. Can you explain to me how that's fair?
Well, I feel like men shouldn't have to be, but if it had to be one, I would say men. But I think that sucks that they have to.
Wait, but so given the reality that men do have to register with the selective service and that governments and nations they're not going to relinquish their right to force their citizenry into a military conflict, should women equally have to register too?
I personally don't want to, but I wouldn't be entirely like against it.
Well, it wouldn't really be, like if there was a draft, it wouldn't really be your choice, right?
To get drafted?
Right.
No. If I like sign up for it, no.
Wait, what do you mean?
I'm confused what you're asking.
Well, so you might be against having to make women be subject to military conscription, but if they were subject to military conscription, a woman couldn't say, well, if they do get drafted, well, don't really want to do that. So the whole point of a draft, military conscription, is you get forced
Yeah.
to do it, right? So are you fine with women being forced into military service the same way men are?
Yeah, I guess.
Can I input?
to us.
Yes.
I think
Real quick, before you get into it, I'm sorry, hold the thought for just a second. I just wanted to ask a quick follow-up question on the idea of the boxes with the looking over the fence in the boxes. So the idea here, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is that if 2 people are going to look over a fence, one's 5'4" and the other one is 5'9", and the fence is 6 foot, you're going to give one a different size box than the other so that both can see over the fence, right? That's the idea of equity?
Correct.
Okay. Why is it, though, that there should be some obligation that both can look over the fence?
Like they're like why they should look over the fence?
No, why is there an obligation to make sure both can?
Just so they can? I don't know. I didn't think of it that deep.
No. So there should be a reason why we want both people to look over the fence. The explanation for what equity is saying that both people should be able to look over the fence, and if they both should be able to, we're giving them different sized boxes so that one has a leg up over the other so that they both of them can. But why in the world do we have the expectation that both should?
Because it's fair.
Fair. Well, it doesn't seem very fair if you get a box that's bigger than my box because of my immutable characteristics for how I was born, my height in this case. It seems like that's unfair to me.
But you're both looking over the box. I mean, over the fence.
Yeah, so what? You still get a bigger box, though. That's not fair.
And you're still looking over the fence.
Yeah, but I don't have as big a box. Why can't I? We would still both be looking over the fence if we both had the same size box.
What you're wanting to say is like equal opportunity.
For instance, if you needed a 4-inch box to look over the fence, and I only needed a 2-inch box to look over the fence, wouldn't we both still be looking over the fence if we had a 4-inch box?
Yeah.
I'll just leave it there.
I want to put the idea of
Equality is bullshit.
equal value. So I'm not against gender roles whatsoever. I actually
There will
do
always be
follow them
things
to an
that
extent.
differentiate everybody else.
But in the case of like serving in the military,
Live and
I
let
don't think
die,
women should have to be
friend.
expected to do that. Men are physically stronger. They can be of value in that way, and women can be of value in another way. And I think I'm not like taking equality literally as we have to do equal. We have to do the same things, but we can do different things, and they're equal in value.
But as a woman, you cannot say I want to go into the military, want to have the same payment, and then when the war breaks out, I want to stand in the kitchen. You cannot do that. You have to do the same thing as a man.
Well, he wasted.
Right, do you think, like for example, so there's ranks in the military. Women are able to volunteer for the military. Despite there being different physical requirements, my understanding, I'm not an expert in the military, if you're the same rank as a man, I'm pretty sure you get paid the same. Now, maybe somebody's been in the military, maybe if like your job designation, is there a difference in pay? Even if you're the same rank, if your job in the military is different. So one person, they're infantry, and this other person, they're a mechanic? I don't know. Anybody in the military can answer this? I'm not sure. But
Yes, there's all sorts of different things. There's combat pay, there's hazard pay, there's all sorts of things that you get if you're in a combat zone versus if you're stationed stateside and you're, doing payroll and things like that. There's all sorts of different various pay scales, even within the pay scale. So you have 2 E4s. One is in Iraq. They're going to get a separation from family pay. They're going to get hazard pay. They're going to get combat pay. They get all sorts of additional incentives and pay for being in combat. So it's not just uniform across the board on pay.
Sure. I guess so. Back to your point, you said, well, men are stronger. So then, would you be in favor of barring women from volunteering for the military?
I think they could have the opportunity. I don't think it should be a requirement.
Right, but you said, well, when it comes to the draft, men are physically stronger, so it should be men.
Yeah.
And not women. Well, so then should they then be barred from volunteering if they're not as capable? Because that's what you're saying, right? Women aren't as capable.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Well, if they're just as capable, why can't we draft them for military service?
Oh, fuck your mom too.
Yeah, honestly, they aren't.
Doesn't matter how much.
We're talking about
people try
physical
to
strength.
say
Like, I think
anything,
that's
they will find a way to.
let's
suck your mom.
you could draft women. I mean, I'm frankly in favor they can go to the front line, but you can draft women.
Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, that I don't know if I am speaking to the freaking wind. I am ending the stream now. Not many people want to play anymore. I have a time playing, but it seems that not many people are playing now. I don't know how many people came to this. Wait a minute. Maybe it was a raid or something. Wait a minute. I don't know if someone is speaking or seeing this stream, but well, not speaking, just hearing or watching the stream. Can somebody in the chat, if there is somebody out there, does anybody knows how to make a raid? Like, is there something or a player or something that you would like me to send you to pay it forward? I don't know. Maybe this is was a raid and I don't know it. I'm an amateur streamer. I don't do this for a job or anything. I'm learning around the way and trying to enjoy myself while doing so. Does anybody knows how to raid, or does anybody have someone they think I should send it to? While
and
somebody has an idea, please write it in the chat.
And they can perform auxiliary sort of jobs in the military. The military needs paper pushers. There's a bunch of stuff that they can do in the military that doesn't necessarily involve.
Correct. To further this point, for you, Brian, it's something around 1% to 2% of actual military personnel, I believe, who actually fight in any sort of combat situation.
Right.
And that's during wartime even. It's a very low percentage of people who actually fight combat, with everybody else being in a position of support.
Yeah, a lot of support roles. So
Yeah, so that's kind of what I meant by equal value. So women can be in a support role and it's still just as valuable as.
It's not as
I don't know if that's as valuable. I don't know if that's as valuable.
The military itself doesn't think it's just as valuable, which is why they give different ribbons and different medals and different accommodations for people who are in different jobs. They don't even consider them to have the same value. So, for instance, you're not going to get a combat medal if you weren't in combat, for instance. That's how that would work. So even the military does not scale these equally and consider some to have more merit than others, some to have more dangerous jobs than others.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. I'm talking about value more in terms of gender, generally.
Yeah, I don't understand, though, how that would equate. What would the value be? Women can't be deployed to combat. They would be a liability, right?
I don't think there'd be a liability.
You don't think so? So let me let's pretend for a second. Let us just do a quick mental exercise. There's a tactic which was used often in the Vietnam War, where what would happen is a Vietnamese sniper would purposely wound an American GI in the middle of a field in order to make the other GIs have to go out to rescue them, presenting additional targets for that sniper to shoot. It was a very effective tactic. It's been used in many wartime situations. If you were the enemy and women were on the opposite side in a combat role, would you not sexually assault them and make them scream as loud as possible so that then their side would come out to rescue them?
Andrew, I got to interrupt you really quickly. We have Shoe on Head in the chat. Shoe on Head, hey, appreciate your comments.
I will pay it forward. In case somebody wants to repeat this, I stream sporadically. You can come here whenever I'm live and try to watch. You can chat. Sometimes I'm not paying attention because I'm too immersed in the game, but I will try my best. And in case you want to, I don't know, continue visiting this channel, you're more than welcome. I'm not someone trying to be a streamer just for the fun of it. Well, yes, I'm doing it for the fun of it. What the heck was I talking about? I'm trying to do this for the fun of it and because I like to play video games to relax. And I don't know if I want to make this a full-time hobby, but I enjoy it for now. So you are welcome to this channel whenever you come. Subscribe, follow, I don't know, all that thing that everybody asks at the end of every video and channel. And have a wonderful night, everybody. Thank you for watching.